Coming up, Ty from Comeuppance is back on for his monthly hit as we look at Shepherd Code, a film that has Don the Dragon Wilson in it, and Fortress, Bruce Willis film, directed by James Calabrezic. Also has Chad Michael Murray. I'm trying to figure out Chad Michael Murray, Chad Michael something, Chad Michael Murray. And unfortunately, late Shannon Doherty. So we recorded this episode a month ago, so it was before she passed this past weekend. So almost kind of fitting, right? That we would be posting this episode now in a movie that she did. But I'm going to have my kind of initial thought on her in a little bit here. So I'll talk a little bit about her unfortunate passing there. And then next week, Mitch from the Video Vacuum is back on. We're going to be looking at Wanted Man. So we haven't done Dolph in a while with Mitch. So it's a fun conversation there. That'll be next week. And then we close out this great month of July with Freddie Young from Full Moon Reviews as we look at Undefeatable in 2 weeks' time. So he just got a new 4K version of that movie, the Cynthia Rothrock Godfrey Ho classic. I just watched it on Tubi, but I've seen it before. Of course, we reviewed it on the site a while ago. But yeah, another really fun conversation there. And then this Thursday, look for the DTVC extra look at the Ip Man film. So I just saw the first one. I don't want to step all over that conversation that I'll be having on Thursday, but definitely something that I enjoyed for sure. I think I'm probably also going to wedge in a segment on Wonder Woman 84, because I saw that one recently as well. And in addition, I saw Professor Marston and the Wonder Women. So kind of a background on Wonder Woman. So kind of maybe do a little bit of not a deep dive, because it's only going to be one segment, but a shallow dive. Can we call it that? But anyway, yeah. So probably have an extra bonus segment on Wonder Woman 84. But we'll be looking at Ip Man 1 and 2 as well this Thursday on DTVC Extra. In terms of the site, you may have been surprised to see that The Gardener is up finally. So Gary Daniels officially in the 60 Club, the only person other than Dolph to have 60 movies on the site. So we finally made that one happen. It just suddenly appeared on Amazon again. It was like a magic or something. I don't really know how these movies appear and disappear on Amazon. And that was actually going to be my initial thought. I was talking about streaming availability, but with Shannon Doherty passing, I thought I would switch it up a bit there. But it just happened to be there. I was like, I got to do it now. So we'll take advantage of it. But then next week we'll do Frankenhooker, and then we'll finish out, or not next week, this Saturday. We'll do Frankenhooker. Then the week after, we'll finish out the month of July with Crackerjack 2. And then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for August. And I had an idea that I might do a women director, like a spotlight on women directors. Just because when I did Gardener, I realized that it was co-directed by a woman who's in the UK, who's, she's an actress who also does, but I think she's directed like 14 or 15 movies. And I thought, okay, that could be interesting. And then there's a couple of Lifetime, like not Lifetime movies, but these like sort of Tubi originals that have also been directed by women. And so I thought, and then with Cinema Epic, there's Nicole D'Angelo who does a lot of their movies. She did a really great one last year called Love Crime that I really enjoyed. She did that with Shane Ryan Reed. So maybe I could spot like one of her films too that's on Tubi. So that was an idea I had. I think there's actually 5 Saturdays in August, so I don't know if I've got 5 movies to do with that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But just keep an eye out on that upcoming reviews watched space to see what's coming next. But you may have noticed I switched it up there for The Gardener, but definitely we'll do Frankenhooker next week. Yeah, and then, just in terms of me doing appearances, that kind of thing. So my episode of Sleazy Spader Springtime that I did with John Cross of After Movie Night, where we looked at Critical Care, that is available now. And then I also did an episode of Forgotten Film Cats where I looked at a Harry Hamlin movie called King of the Mountain. That one is available now too. I think that one just dropped recently, maybe even this morning. So those are both available if you want to check those out. And then tonight I should be recording with John again. He did posted it on his social media. So if everything goes as the plan, you never know when you schedule it, then you just never know what happens when you're scheduling it. But if everything goes the way we expect it to, I'll be recording tonight with him, and we'll be doing Shadow of Fear, real bonkers interesting one. So I'm kind of doing a double dip on Sleazy Spader there. So we'll see what happens there. Then hoping to have him on our site or our podcast in August. So we'll work out the scheduling for that there. But yeah, definitely check that out as well. And then also, Ty from Comeuppance, speaking of Undefeatable, us doing Undefeatable in 2 weeks. The Comeuppance guys have just recently released their episode of on Cynthia Rothrock. So if you're not subscribed to Comeuppance Reviews podcast, you should be. But I think Ty had meant to mention it. Of course, he meant to mention it when we recorded last night for the August episode. And he's like, oh, I forgot to mention it. I was like, well, it wouldn't even matter anyway because it wouldn't come up. That episode's not coming out for a month. But I can mention it in the open here. So I figured, give a plug to that one. They always do great stuff. I think they've got 34 Rothrock movies on their site. So I think he said this is going to be a two-parter. So they're going to because what they do when they feature an actor or director, something like that on their podcast, really what it is Ty and Brett kind of break down what movies on the site they've reviewed from that star. So with Rothrock, it's 34 movies. So I think they broke it into 2 episodes. So this is like part 1 where they'll cover some of the earlier ones there. So definitely check that out though as well. I think that kind of gets us up to date for everything. So, kind of with the opening thought, I think, so it just happened that, Ty and I, we finally got Fortress was finally available on Prime, it's suddenly off Prime again. Not sure what's going on with these movies where they come and go on Prime like that. But, we had Fortress on there, in kind of towards the end of Shannon Doherty's career, director James Cullen Bresek, it seems like he was getting her work in the direct-to-video movies. And I think it was kind of one of those things. I think with the actors that he works with, it kind of works both ways, right? That they give him a name to put on the tin that kind of makes the and I think gives the producers, line producers, everybody a name to put on the tin, distributors that help sell it, right? But then he's able to get her work in these movies, so she gets consistent work, knowing that he's going to be doing movies for certain line producers, certain distributors, and he's able to and Zach Ward's another one that works with James Cullen Bresek a lot. So it's a really kind of cool as we've been watching some of these Willis movies. I think another one we watched was Hot Seat, Ty and I. That had Shannon Doherty in it as well, and it's been kind of fun to see her in these things, and of course, really sad news that finding out over this weekend that she'd passed away. I think there were reports that maybe she was getting better, but I think part of it might have been that she was putting that out there because she didn't want people to worry about her so much. I think she wanted to kind of, she knew she was going to pass soon. She wanted to kind of have that space to herself, which I totally understand there, but. It's interesting. Kevin Smith posted about, making Mallrats with her, and it was kind of a reminder of just how big she was in the early 90s. And I think that's something that even I kind of forgot. I mean, you think about her early career. I mean, I remember her doing Our House. I think it was called Our House. It was a show that where Wilford Brimley played this guy I think his son dies, and he takes in his daughter-in-law and her 3 kids, one of which is Shannon Doherty. The other one, I don't know if it was 2 sons. I think one of the sons is Chad Allen. I always refer to him as Teen Star Chad Allen. But so they were on that show together. And then of course she does Heathers, right? Heathers is around that same time. But of course, with Heathers, right? The big names that we remember from Heathers would be Winona Ryder and Christian Slater. But when 90210 comes out, she was really kind of the female face of that show. I mean, I think that from Jason Priestley, why am I drawing a blank on Luke Perry? Right? I kept wanting to call him Dylan McKay, right, which is his character on 90210, but no, Luke Perry. But yeah, so they were kind of the big male stars. She was the big female star. I think she was bigger than than any of the women who were on the show at that time. And it's interesting because then of course she leaves the show. I can't remember I think it was whether she was fired or if she ended up leaving. But one of the things I think with that kind of thing nowadays is that we have a better sense of this idea of like the woman or the actor who was difficult to work with, quote unquote. We've discovered now is kind of more like maybe they were standing up to some toxic environment that they were working in, and because they stood up for themselves, they get labeled difficult, because of that. Katherine Heigl's another name that we think of that's kind of in a similar vein. I think some of the things that came out about Joss Whedon, Charisma Carpenter when she was pregnant, while shooting Angel, that he would do things like, do shoots in the middle of the night and stuff like that to make it difficult for her because he just didn't want her on the show pregnant. And I think, those kinds of things that happen in Hollywood, initially they were so behind the scenes. But I think there was also a sense that from that not everybody was an ally to stars like that. And I think the other thing too is I think that, Shannon Doherty being kind of the biggest, being the face of that show the way she was, at least the female face of the show. I think for the other women that were on the show, I don't know if they would have been jealous, but, I think they would have seen it as maybe she was getting too big if she was complaining about things. But, she gets that label, right? And, at the same time, right, she does Mallrats kind of just after. And I think it was one of the things that Kevin Smith talked about was that, like, oh, wow, we were able to get her. That was a big name for us to be able to get her in Mallrats. And the way I saw it was kind of more like, she had just left 90210, and there was some controversy around that Mallrats was a thing that she could do to kind of, bring, I don't know, get things back on the tracks a little bit. Of course, she also had the movie Blindfold Acts of Obsession I think that was supposed to be her breakout Hollywood film. And of course, it ends up going straight to USA, and I think it might have also gotten her into the erotic thriller vein, but, didn't quite come off that same way either. But, at the same time, Luke Perry and Jason Priestley also didn't really do well in the theater. I mean, Luke Perry had, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, speaking of Joss Whedon, right? He had that movie, pretty decent, right? I mean, had MTV publicity, shows, things like that he was a part of. Jason Priestley with Calendar Girl, that didn't really come off that well either. I remember had the Neil Sedaka song in the commercials and everything, but yeah, didn't really work. So it wasn't like it was just her, right? Really, if you look at the entire cast of 90210, they didn't really have a lot of success after the show. And to some extent, maybe she had the most success by her going, kind of parlaying that into Charmed, right? And again, her run on Charmed kind of ended in the same way, which was unfortunate, right? There was a sense of like her not getting along with people or something like that. And again, is that the case, or is it that maybe she just doesn't put up with as much as other people too? But I think at that time, I think of like kind of what Shannon Doherty represented, especially the 902 era. And, at that time, Fox was this new channel, this upstart that they were really gunning for the big names. You think of like shows like The Simpsons or Married with Children. That was really just them coming for the Cosby Show, right? They were the Cosby Show was number one with NBC. They wanted to take them down. And so those were like anti-Cosby shows. And of course, if you think of which ones, aged the best, right? Obviously now we know Cosby was grooming us all to allow him to be the most prolific and abhorrent serial rapist in modern times, right? We were so seeing him as such a great guy when he was, doing what he was doing at that time. And, in The Simpsons, I remember there's a period where Fox put The Simpsons on Thursday nights to run right up against the Cosby Show. Another show, of course, at that time was In Living Color, which was Fox's answer to Saturday Night Live, right? It was raunchier, it was edgier. And I remember my mom didn't always want me to watch it, because it was like that. Of course, made Jim Carrey into a big star, which I think that really kind of gives you the sense of why, the cast on 90210 would have thought they could have been big stars too, right? That if it worked for Jim Carrey, it's not like it was unprecedented. But I think, 90210 represented, again, it was, a nighttime soap, but it had that sort of that edgier Fox vibe. And Shannon Doherty really represented that with her character, Brenda Walsh. You've got the two twins who, her and her fraternal twin brother, Brandon, played by Jason Priestley. They come from Minnesota and go to LA. They're kind of like this fish out of water thing, but they had it was unique fish out of water stories for both of them, right? Brandon Walsh was like the really popular one who was trying to like make sense of the fact that he wasn't the greatest guy, that he wasn't like big man on campus anymore, right? He had to kind of rebuild himself, right? There. Whereas, Brenda was always used to being in his shadow, and she comes to LA, and it's almost like all of the things that confined her in the Midwest suddenly just really opened up, right? And I remember that very first, if you ever watched the pilot, right, where she has that story arc where her and Kelly and the other, Tori Spelling, whoever, they go to a nightclub with fake IDs. Jaimin Hansu, of course, Oscar winner, is the bouncer, and Shannon Doherty goes in first, right? Her ID works, she goes in first, and then Kelly, he finds that hers is fake and he rips it up and she can't get back in. Of course, this is before the time of cell phones. Though at that time they would have probably had the Zach Morris phones, being that rich, but maybe not. But anyway, none of them had cell phones. So she was kind of stuck there, and she meets an older guy. And there's this whole storyline of her pretending to be a college student and dating this older man. And of course it goes south and all of that. But it was a much more compelling story than the one Brandon had. And I think that's what drew people in, was that like it wasn't exactly a bad girl kind of thing. It was more like a person trying to find themselves, make themselves into a new person in LA, and almost really having no restrictions, right? It's like forget like coloring outside the lines. There's no lines to color in, and she kind of had the way, she could create her own lines there, and she made that such a great character. And then of course she her character dates Luke Perry's character and Dylan, and that was kind of like the big romance of that time, I think, for for people our age. And so she was she was that big deal. I mean, when you think of sort of post Brat Pack, right? Because Heathers would have been a post Brat Pack kind of movie. She was kind of one of the one of the big names of that kind of that next wave of I don't know, teen actors. I mean, they weren't teenagers at the time. They're all in their 20s, but younger actors at that time. And it is interesting that it never quite worked out from a big Hollywood standpoint, that she never quite got those roles. And part of it is just, you get the first one or two bad ones, because I mean, it didn't work out for Jason Priestley either. But yeah, it would have been interesting to see if some of those bigger roles came. She kind of goes into more, TV movie stuff, and I think she was more accepted in the TV movie world. After a little while, after she was older, and after Charmed and all of that, and then of course towards the end, where we find her in the DTV world is when she's doing these James Cullen Brezak films, and she was always great in those. It was always fun to see her in those. I think it was always fun. I mean, it's always fun for me to see anybody from 90210. I mean, that was a show that was definitely, something that I always enjoyed watching, kind of, shaped, me growing up. And I think for a lot of us growing up, in the 90s, like, early 90s, it was always fun to watch it, because it wasn't like I was trying to mimic any of them. It was almost like there was like a sense of like, not trashiness. I don't know what the word is. Like almost like kind of a schlock, like overly dramatic kind of thing. But there's also like a fun element to it, that you could enjoy that show. And I think she was a big part of it. And then of course when she leaves the show, the show lasted for a long time after her. A lot of other people left the show as well. I mean, I kind of stopped watching it kind of midway through when they were in college. So it was like a couple of years after she left the show, I stopped watching it. But this unfortunate, hearing that she's passed away, and of course, Luke Perry passed away, a few years ago as well. So even sadder, right? That kind of that TV couple, both parts are no longer with us. But I think, to kind of look back and reflect and be like, because it's been like 30 years. And so sometimes I have to bring my brain back 30 years and remember that, like, what it was 30 years ago, like how big she was at that time, how big that show was, and what she meant as a part of that show. And so, it's nice that it worked out here, that we are able to do a movie that she was in. Just happened to work out this way, that the schedule fell this way, that this one that Ty and I did is here. Again, because we recorded this a month ago, we're not going to be mentioning anything about her passing, because at that time, this was well before that. But I think it's kind of nice. I don't know if tribute is the right term, but yeah. And so I think, as we go back 30 years and think about these kinds of things, and as somebody, I mean, and it's not like, she was that old. She was only in her early 50s. So it's, really sad that we did lose her. But I think, it is kind of fun to kind of go back and see what kind of mark she left. And again, how she kind of fit in with TV, and sort of how things were moving at that time for younger audiences in the early 20s, and what a big impact that she had on that. So probably, a good place for us to end that there. So why don't we have John from After Movie Diner playing our theme song, and then when we come back, Ty and I are going to talk about the Shepherd Code, and then Fortress. All right, we are back, and yeah, I kind of, I just full disclosure for the audience, I ran into a little trouble when I was starting the recording because with Skype, there's this new like three dots thing that you do to, and I kind of just hit it, and then I was like, oh wait, I was giving Ty the heads up, and it just for everybody, yeah, Ty from Comeuppance is back. He's our guest on this
Hey, I'm
episode.
here. How's it going? Let's get dots. Let's get some Dippin' Dots. It's
Yeah,
like
the old
and
Skype Dippin' Dots. Yeah,
it's the ice cream of the future. It's just like
right, right.
what? But
Do
that
they?
future was back in the '90s, so they meant like 20. Like what was the future for that? Like 2017.
Right, exactly. Which I don't know about you, if there are any malls that still exist or that you go to that still they have the Dippin'
Well,
Dots machine, right? Do you see that in the malls near you?
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think. We used to have the Dippin' Dots like. We had a machine. Usually that was just in a bunch of freezers. Just like
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
yeah. But the machine, yeah, I'm trying to remember if there's a machine, but I know we had Wetzel's pretzels and
Oh,
orange Julius.
yes. Yeah, and so then there's like a question of because I think like the mall in Philly it's now called the Fashion District. So when I first moved here, it was the gallery, and it had been the gallery since I think like the early '80s. And the gallery was it was like this three-story old mall that was like, I mean, it had like old like '70s writing stuff. Like it made you feel nostalgic when you walk through it. But also, it was right near the train station. I remember one of the times an unhoused individual was yelling at me, and I remember saying something to some friends when I was riding the trolley back, and they were like, "Yeah, it wouldn't be a trip to the gallery if a homeless person didn't yell at you."
Yeah.
So it had some character to it as well. But they decided to demolish it and turn it into this thing called the Fashion District, which again, it's just a mall that just looks like nicer and newer, but it's still a mall, and nobody's going to it. They banned kids from going to it because I guess kids cause problems, which isn't that the whole
Classic.
point of the mall, right?
They run around. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't. Do they have elevators or escalators? We had like
Escalators, yes. Yeah, they run. Yeah. Well, and
yeah,
also
kids.
because it's near the train station, you get commuters who think that they can just go into the mall to either pick up something or grab a bite to eat before they get their train, and they get like bombarded by kids running through the mall, I think.
Hey, mom, I want a toy and a Wetzel pretzel. It's
Right,
like
right. Yeah, exactly. Well, these are like teens who just don't have anything else to do, which,
oh, those dang
you know,
teens
yeah, yeah, that's
loitering. Well, see, that's
yeah.
the teens today. These kids today. They have their phones. When we were teenagers and children, we didn't have no phone.
No.
It's like
No.
we have to goof around and like pretend maybe we have some change for the for the phone, for the what's it called, the payphone.
Right, right,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Speaking of the payphone, there used to be a bank of payphones in the bus station section of South Station, and in Boston. And recently I was there because the way it works when I visit my family is I take the train to the train section of South Station, and then I get a bus from Boston to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where my family lives, and that's in the section. And they removed all the payphones, and now they're like charging stations, and I guess places where you can make a phone call, um, like you could plug your phone in and call somebody from there, but they got rid of the actual payphones.
interesting. I don't think Maroon 5 will be very happy. It's
No,
like,
right, right, yes,
I'm not a payphone trying to call home on you.
right, yeah,
I don't want to get
yeah,
in trouble because I know we played that Poison song by Alice Cooper's,
yeah.
and we got in trouble, so I'll just sing it this time.
Right, I guess, yeah. If we actually played a clip of "I'm at a payphone," yeah, one
Yeah.
whatever in because the thing is, yeah, for people listening, I've since
Oh,
moved
right.
I've added the podcast to YouTube, and YouTube is a different animal when it comes to adding your podcast to there because they do their YouTube copyright thing that I guess Spotify doesn't care as much because Spotify has the rights to the song anyway.
That's a
So
good
it doesn't.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, like they even let you, I think they used to. I don't know if they do anymore, but they did let you add music. Like I could just added the whole song to Poison, to the and they'd be like, hey, that's great. Maybe Alice Cooper gets like 30 cents for every, or not even 30, like 2 cents probably for every play or
Well,
something
he
like
can use
that.
it for his next golf tournament because every time I see Alice Cooper now, he's wearing golf pants. And it's like,
Right.
and with the full makeup on and the golf pants, like really,
Right.
really metal.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah, I think he moved to Arizona just so he can play golf. But I think he also opened like a restaurant that serves like really big hot dogs with a whole bunch of stuff on them.
okay, at least they have relish. I hope. It's like,
I think it's like crazy stuff like chili and like all kinds of crazy toppings and like
it's a little wacky,
yeah, it's I mean, you know how those like it's the kind of place that I think like what's his face? Guy Fieri would go to.
Yeah, right. He has his flavor towns or whatever. It's like, oh, I gotta go to Flavor Town. Like, we don't have a Flavor Town in Connecticut. We have. It's like,
Oh, and actually, I just found out that his restaurant closed in 2017. So it's
oh,
yeah, so there is no more no more Alice Cooper restaurants. So you can't get those massive.
oh no. Okay, I was trying to think of something wacky we put on a hot dog that was insane, like
Yeah,
tortellini. Like,
right.
so you put tortellini on a bunch of hot dogs. It sounds insane, but I'm trying to think that's the craziest thing I can think of right now on live radio.
Right.
They're just like,
Yeah, that's one of the thing with our tangents, right? Is that we don't prep the tangents in advance, right? So
no,
you can't do right. Like a lot of the other stuff we prep a little bit, like we kind of go back and forth on Instagram to kind of prep like what our segments are going to be and stuff like that. But we don't go back and forth on the tangents. They just come out of nowhere and suddenly it's like, yeah, right. You never know when you're talking about Alice Cooper's hot dog place.
I did not expect that,
No,
or did we somehow? But it's like,
right, exactly.
Coop's there his hot dog. But well, so wait, we're talking about malls. Oh yeah, so we had a mall. Well, the mall's still there, I think. The Post Mall. I should know this by now. And it had all those places. They had Spencer's Gifts. That was a weird place.
Oh yes, yeah.
That was kind of like mildly creepy for children. It's just like, oh, like it was just adult humor. I'm only 10. It's like
Right.
And we had an arcade. I don't remember what games were there. I think might have been Street Fighter 2 or maybe I'm just picturing the movie Evolver when they're in the arcade. You ever see that movie?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. William H. Macy's best work as the evil robot.
Yes.
I can someone to ask him that. I want to ask him about stupid old Fargo. Ask about Evolver.
Right. Yeah. That's one of the things because like say what you want about Kevin Sorbo, right? We know all kinds of stuff, but my friends saw him at a sort of whatever convention outside of the city. So it wasn't here in Philadelphia, but it was like in the suburbs. And my buddy brought Pool Boy for him to sign. And he loved it. He started like the moment he saw it, like because he's just thinking he's signing Hercules stuff the whole time, and then he sees Pool Boy dropped in front of him, and he saw it. He just started cracking up. He's like, "Oh, this is so great!" He's like, and he was telling me you got to watch FDR American Badass, which is the other movie that he did where he played Abe Lincoln. Yeah. But they do appreciate it when when you have something that's a little bit outside. I mean, I've heard like Billy D. Williams doesn't want to sign Colt 45 stuff, but I think when you have like kind of a movie, unless there's some horrible history they have with the movie that we don't know about, they generally like it when you have something a little bit offbeat for them.
I mean, if I met Kevin Sorbo, I'd bring my Flesh Wounds DVD or my Walking Talls.
Right.
Yeah, Walking Tall to Payback. Or no, Lone Justice has Andrew Stevens. If I think I sent you a picture, right?
Yes.
Like Kat being Andrew Stevens and Kevin. She was watching Kevin Sorbo. Right. She like stood up to watch Kevin Sorbo. Well, don't we all? But it's like, well, I watched Left Behind. Beware of the Antichrist or Rise.
Oh yes.
I mean, it was okay. I watched it on Easter. I think I mentioned this in one of the last pods, but that's the last Sorbo I watched.
That's Sorbo and McDonough, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I mentioned it. Let me see if I can find a quick picture if you want to. I found a picture. Just have a funny picture for you now. I sent you a picture of Bruce Willis from Striking Distance, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. All right. So
yeah.
That was March. Okay. So.
Oh yeah, so it would have been a while. Yeah, oh, that's right. I remember the picture you sent me about that with McDonough in the movie. And
oh yeah, the Bible, nothing found. He's like a Bible app he was using.
That's right. That's right. He was searching. Yeah.
Like he looked up rapture. It said nothing found. No, that's funny. Now it's like that could be that's almost like what Google is now because it gave me no end of trouble to find that John Cusack is a diva story from when he made The Factory in 2008.
Right.
And it was like, it basically said, no, nothing found. I had to really deep dive.
Yeah, because what happens with those things? So just to give people an idea of what we're talking about there. So we're looking at we're thinking about for a future one of our collaboration episodes. Maybe next month we were thinking about doing a movie called Pursuit that Mr. Cusack was in from 2022. And one of the things that we you were talking about was like when he did The Factory, that he was accused of being a diva, and
Yes,
yeah, and you wonder because also the guy who claimed he was a diva, that guy's like a soap opera actor. So it's like you also wonder too if like he wasn't the like you never know who's saying what about those things. But based on Cusack's Twitter posts, there's a it's not unbelievable that he would be a diva.
that's true. And it was Paul Light. The guy was Paul Leyden. I think.
Layden, yeah, yeah.
Like, we were all very happy when it was his last day. I mean, I guess it was cold up in Canada when they made that. Have you ever seen The Factory?
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I saw a number station and I thought I had seen The Factory until I realized that
oh,
I hadn't. Yeah.
I like the number station. I like John Cusack's Indifference, which is a good segue
Yeah.
into Bruce Willis's Indifference, because I
Yes.
watched Striking Distance on Laserdisc today.
I didn't know it was on Laserdisc that you watched it. That's
Oh, I
fantastic.
didn't say it was on Laser. Oh, okay.
You might have it. I
Um,
might have missed it. I know you said you were watching Batman Returns on Laser, but I did.
I
Yeah,
did. Yes.
Striking Distance. I think I might have missed that.
Oh, I bought 4 hot new lasers, which were Dead Air, with Gregory Hines, and it's boring. Just that's it, it's boring.
Right.
Nothing else to say about that one. Then I rewatched Batman Returns, which has
Yeah.
classic Penguin being a pervert,
Right.
and it was like he's like a politician, almost like I do like Trump. It is the big debate. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Tonight. Yeah.
cricket Joe.
Yeah. For people listening as we're recording tonight is
Yeah.
the debate that makes no sense, right? Because it's like
It's the
who
debate that makes no sense. It's a song that never ends. Love Lamb Chop.
right, right. I mean, it doesn't amaze me if somebody is so undecided that they're going to watch this debate and be like, oh, actually now I know who I'm voting for, right?
That's
Yeah,
it. It came to me. I'm voting for Trump.
he did such a great job in this debate against Biden. I've got it, or like the other way around, like, oh man, Biden, it just killed Trump. I was gonna vote Trump, but now after this debate,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know if it's like they feel like they have to do them because it's like every election there's debates, so it's
Yeah.
like we have to do it. But yeah, it's gonna it for people listening, we're recording this. We're not watching the debate, so
No,
we
no.
don't.
That's
We're
a
doing our
funny
own version, right? Our own, Mr. Biden is he, it's I don't know even know what he would be saying in the debate
I know
about
it's
Joe Biden.
but sometimes
Sleepy
I think,
Joe.
you're trouble. Sleepy Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe Biden. He's sleeping on the stage. I'm awake, okay? It's like Eugene Carroll, Alvin Bragg, Stormy Daniels. Who else is other enemies?
Oh man.
Oh,
Um,
Fonzie Willis.
it's right. Yes,
Bruce
yeah,
Willis.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Speaking of Willis,
I don't think he doesn't like Pence anymore, right? He doesn't.
no, Judas Pence. Totally
Right.
Judas.
Judy.
Judas Priest.
Right.
Breaking the law. That's what I did.
Right.
I got
What?
convicted breaking the law.
Right. What was his nickname for DeSantis? Did he come up with a nickname for him too?
Oh, it was like Ron DeSanctimonious, which takes too
The
long to
sanctum.
say.
Right. Right. Exactly.
They,
Right.
what is? Oh, didn't they call him like Hamburger Head or something? It's like didn't they
Oh,
call him
that's
like
what. Yeah, it was something like that.
it was like
Yeah.
it was like Hot Dog Ron or Hamburger Burger Ron. What was it?
Right.
Oh, Meatball. It was Meatball.
Meatball. That's what it was. Yeah, because he's Italian, I think. Right.
Yeah, Meatball Ron. Not a great guy. He's in Florida though. I live there in Mar-a-Lago. Great Taco Bell stuff.
I was shocked to find out that Ron DeSantis is the same age as me because when I see him on
Really?
TV, he looks like he's like 10 years older than me. I had
Well,
no idea.
all I know about Ronald DeSanctimonious is that he wears like boots, or he wears like cowboy boots all the way up to his waist, basically, like high waisted pants or something.
Right.
Did you ever see that? He's like, oh, he's wearing these weird
Yes.
socks.
Right.
Like, what the heck are you wearing? And I think he's secretly short. I think he's like,
Right.
I don't have to do Trump. He has to do Al Pacino. Whoa, I'm short.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Not
No,
very tall.
I think you're right about that. I think there's and I guess too, he's really socially awkward. And I guess his wife is the one who sort of either coaches him or handles the more social aspects of things that he has to handle because he just yeah, if you had a conversation with him, he just wouldn't make any sense, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's something interesting about how he is. He's
And I remember, do you remember this story? He went to the county fair or whatever, they have to go to those county fairs to get votes.
oh yes, yeah.
He had some ice cream or some weird nachos or something, and he didn't really eat them correctly. It's
Yes,
It's
yeah.
like he like ate it from the side of his face, if that makes sense. Like down,
Yes.
down.
Right. Yes, that's what,
Like,
because there was another instance where he was like eating pudding with his fingers.
oh, that's
Well,
just gross. Get his foot out.
yeah, he just like had, you know, like those pudding cups, like the snack pack kind of things. He just like
I,
opened it up and started like three
no,
fingering. Yeah.
no. At least if you don't have like a spoon, and let's say you can even have a snack like with a fork. You can't use your
Right.
finger. You gotta wash your
No.
hand.
Well,
It's like
right,
what a
because you're
waste.
right. If you don't have a utensil, the best thing is like that snack pack, that plastic. You can kind of squeeze it and almost like drink the pudding. Is that would that be preferable at least, right?
Yeah, I
Then
gotta do that on my fingers. Why waste my time washing my hands when I can do other things? Well, you
right,
should wash
right,
your hands, but I mean, I don't
yeah,
want to like wash my
right,
hands for no reason. I don't have to. It's just like
yeah. So I never thought about this though.
go
Like,
ahead.
if you're like either like on a plane and like, or you're in a situation where like you don't want to talk to the, like you want to just like either have a seat to yourself and you don't want
Mhm.
somebody sitting next to you, or like if you ate pudding with your fingers, that person would just get up and go immediately, right? Like, like I can't sit
That's
next to this
true.
person.
'Cause I'm gonna see him like talk. Oh, hold on, and then just putting on the guy's face when he sprays it, or like on his shirt is all chocolatey. It's not like
Right,
it's a
right.
vanilla pudding, chocolate pudding where it stains.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
or it's tapioca and has those like weird dots in them. It's
Oh
like, oh,
yes, and it's like all yeah. Oh, and in my case, because I got the beard, it would just be even worse because it would just be like all in the beard and stuff, and
yeah, you don't want pudding beard. You don't want pudding beard.
no, no, like the next person that would come and sit next to me would see the pudding beard, and just be like, forget it, I got it, I'm gone, I'll see you.
So yeah, I'm gonna go back to first class. I'll be right back. And it's like
Exactly, exactly, yeah,
I usually
yeah,
go first class. I've never been to first class because I'm not rich
right,
yet.
right,
But
yeah, right,
it's like it looks pretty cool. I mean, you get these like pods, but also it's still kind of the same. It looks like the same kind of seat.
right.
It's like I mean, I think they made it lesser than usual. Maybe because you picture like people in smoking jackets and like going upstairs and like
Right.
every time I go on a plane, I don't see that part of the plane unless it's secret. It's just like oh, it's just a part of the plane. It's
Yeah,
like
I think
where
you
are
have
my
to fly
stairs?
like international or something. Like when I fly with JetBlue, that like first class is just like the front of the plane, and it's like you just have like the seats are a little bit nicer and it's two seaters, but it's like I'm only flying from like say like Philly to Boston. It's like most of the time that I'm going to be spending traveling isn't going to be in that seat that's costing me like $800 or $900 more than what a normal seat would cost. So
That's true, but I also don't want to get you know here on Spirit Airlines. There is no first class. Like there's so
no.
many jokes. It's like it's
Yeah.
all coke. It's
Oh,
like
Spirit. Yeah, Spirit and Frontier, they are like the Greyhound of. Although Greyhound is a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to manage Greyhound, but yeah, Spirit, like I don't know if you've ever seen the tray tables on Spirit. Um,
no, they look
they're,
like
they're like the size of like like those tablets that aren't like regular like iPad tablet, like these like smaller ones that like
Nook.
like Walmart or something. It's like something like that. Or it's like I guess I'm trying to think of the size of it. It's like it's like slightly bigger than like a Game Gear or something like that. So, like length and
That's
width
wow.
wise, it's absolutely tiny. But the thing is that it just sort of hangs there, right? So like for example, sometimes they just fall down, but also kids like to play with them, and so like you might be sitting there with a kid just smacking it like backing against,
Oh,
and of course parents don't really care when kids do stuff like that. So yeah, it's when you look at it, you're just like really, that's the that's what I'm doing for a tray table. Okay, I guess that's that.
it's like all the jokes are like true. That's what makes it
Right,
so funny.
right.
It's like
Yes,
I hear
exactly.
jokes about superheroes almost every day, and it's like, oh wow, you're not kidding. It's just like
Right.
it's like
Yes. No. No.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
oh, go ahead, please. Go ahead,
no.
please.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No. Go finish your thing because mine's
Well,
different, a brief different
oh
topic.
well. No. I was gonna say it's like it's like this idea of like if you were gonna buy a hamburger, right? Like like you go to like McDonald's or something, and or like Wahlburgers, right? And you see the price, but the price is just for the actual meat, right?
Right.
And then it's like, well, okay, so I could just eat the meat, right? With my well, if I'm DeSantis, I could just eat it with my hands, right? But I
Right.
could, get a fork and just eat the meat. But I would like a bun and maybe some condiments and some
Yeah.
veggies and and
Yeah.
and
You
and,
gotta
and
have the
cheese.
complete pack.
Yeah. And so it's almost like you see it and you're like, oh wow, this burger's only $5. That's not bad. And it's like, but then it's 10 for the bun and 12
Yeah.
for the lettuce and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, so really the burger is $20, right? Is what you're really telling me. So if I want just the burger, I'll get it for 5. But yeah, so that's kind of what it is. It's like you see it listed as like, oh, it's only, the flight's only $20. Well, it's only $20 except for the fact that like, yeah, if you can't check a bag, you can't use customer service. You can't get any drinks. You can't, all these kinds of things that you kind of just take for granted when you're flying. That's like, yeah, I mean, like the fact that you can't call customer service unless it costs you money to do that just sounds crazy.
Yeah, it costs 25 cents a minute.
Right,
It's like,
right.
it's like I can totally see him do that. It's like, wow, the penny pinching is amazing. It's like,
Yes.
wow, I'm surprised, you squeeze that penny so hard, blood comes out of your hand, you're penny pinching it so much.
Exactly.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
That's hilariously weird. It's like, how long has Spirit Airlines been around? It seems kind of new. It's like,
Yeah, it, I think it has been kind of new. I mean, JetBlue attempted to buy them out. They were going to
oh,
merge together, and then the government said no because it would create too little competition.
oh,
So they're kind of just stuck now. They're just like I don't think they wanted. I think they wanted to be bought out because I think they were done being Spirit. Now they're just stuck like having to be Spirit.
that sounds. I hear they put their newest pilots on Spirit for like testing.
Yeah,
It's like they're like the test pilots. It's
right,
like
exactly.
when you're in trouble, I'll send you Spirit. No, no, no. I'll be good. I won't drink and fly anymore. I want to go Spirit.
Right. Yes,
Like,
exactly.
like the cockpit, like anyone could just. I think kids just drive the plane now.
Right, exactly,
Like there is no
exactly.
cockpit. There's a cockpit, but it's just a bunch of children. And it's like,
Yeah,
but I think
right.
also Penguin also was flying it. And it's like the
Exactly.
critic reference there, or some sort of weird thing. Like a cow is driving the Spirit airline. Now it's like, why is a cow driving?
Right, right,
It's like, oh,
exactly.
it's just Spirit Airlines. Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah. Well, then there's Frontier, which is even worse because Frontier, what they try to do is because like if your bag is too big, you have to pay extra. You're not like your suitcase or like the rollaway bag you put, but like your backpack. If your
Wow.
backpack is too big, you got to pay $90. And so what they try to do is they try to catch people because they have like this sizer thing and you got to put it in the sizer thing and they try to like bag as many people as they can to make money that way. And so it's the craziest thing because you're like, man, are they going to bag me for my I used to like, so for work, I would sometimes fly them because I could save money doing them. And then I was like, man, no, like, I don't want to have to stress out about whether my backpack, like if my shirt is taking up too much room in my backpack that for my clothes and suddenly I got to pay 90
One
bucks.
too many buttons. You go to
Yes,
$90.
right, exactly. Right. Sorry, sir. Nope, that button is a little bit over the line. You're gonna pay us $90 if you want to fly. So
You know, I think of buttons. We have a cat. Oh no, no. Well, the cat passed away, but his name was.
oh
Well, his name really wasn't Buttons, but he was. Or like cute as a button. It was like we have a cleaners. I've called handmade cleaners, and they have like little scenes like time to be clean for spring cleaning, right? So I went there because to get some stuff to pick up, and I said, hey, I have an idea for you. How about cute as a button? And they used it.
oh, did they?
They only do like clothes puns.
Oh, right, yeah.
So but I think they have a list. Oh yeah, so about buttons. Yeah, I don't think of buttons. I think of there's the cat. Also,
Yeah.
remember it was the Pussycat Dolls. They had a song called Buttons. You know, you remember
Oh,
that
I
song?
think so. Yes, I think yeah.
And it's
Was
every time, like in 2005, you have like a Snoop Dogg kind of like brief rap by him.
right,
Like
yes.
he did that for Katy Perry too. Like, hey, look at Snoop Dogg.
Right,
It's like Katy
right.
Perry featuring Snoop Dogg. Pussycat Dolls featuring Snoop Dogg. It's like,
Right.
it's
Yes, it was like they all it was like this almost like this thing where it was like, okay, now that Snoop Dogg doesn't have to worry about Suge Knight trying to kill him,
yeah,
he's gonna make up for lost time and just be in every like female pop groups that do the rap part of
exactly.
their song.
Exactly. So they definitely got the Snoop there because you don't ever see like featuring like other rappers. You don't feel like I can't think of any right now. Let's say I don't know Nelly. They don't say
Right.
like featuring Nelly on these in these pop groups. It's like and it's always like can I have my buttons, baby? I can't really do Snoop Dogg impression, but I can do I can do Cat Williams. It's like
Right.
stupid. But it's like it's
Dude. God. Yeah, Cat Williams. Yeah, I mean, that every time now, whenever I mention something being on, so people listening, this was a callback to the previous time Ty was on. We were talking about Dermot Mulroney movies, and we were talking about when Cat Williams was on Club Shay Shay, and he was making fun of Cedric the Entertainer. He's like, his specials aren't even on Tubi.
Yeah. You've seen it 3 times.
Right, yeah.
You've seen it once, it was funny. 3 times, it's even funnier.
Right.
That's so. I mean, maybe there's other Club Shay Shays that are funny. I don't know. I did some brief research, but I mean, like, you can't beat that one. There's no way.
No.
If they had, like, Dolph Lundgren or something. Oh, I love Club Shay Shay.
Yeah, that would be great.
Club Dolph.
Shannon Sharp is funny as on himself. As a football player, he's funny enough, like that he's good. But then it's like, Cat Williams is like another level of just fantastic funny.
Dolph should have a podcast though. It's like, I must break myself. I'm Dolph Lundgren. Well, I was looking up because for some reason this is what I do all day. Well, when I don't have anything else to do, I just look up old Dolph movie trailers and try to do more of an impression. But just so I looked up direct action.
Oh yes,
it's like corruption, murder. You call that nothing? It's like, and then Dolph Lundgren, him doing the trailer, punch, direct action. Because I think I said this before in other pods, is that he always has like a quick one-liner after the trailer.
Right, yes.
Or right towards the end, it's like, command performance. Oh, I guess the show's over. And it's like, that's one of my personal favorites. But it's like,
well, the great thing about direct action, one, Sidney J. Furie directed it, who did Superman 4 for Canon, but also he directed Detention, Sidney J. Furie. So, So I guess he likes to do D-titled movies with Dolph. I don't know if that's.
So I mean, Superman 4. It's a weird movie. I mean, he goes to the moon to fight that like monster guy or like that.
Right, like the male model who plays Nuclear Man. Right.
You know what's funny? That is like 15 levels. He's fighting Nuclear Man. It's like
right, yes.
That's so ridiculous. It's just like when I was watching Batman Returns, you got the Penguin being a pervert, and then as I mentioned, and Catwoman, everyone makes fun of Schwarzenegger for all those ice puns, right? Yeah. But no one gives Michelle Pfeiffer any grief for the cat puns that are nonstop in Batman Returns. Yeah. I think it's because she's wearing that kind of sexy outfit.
Right. Well, part of it is the outfit, right? Part of it is the sexy outfit. But the other part of it is, of course, like you talked about, how the Penguin becomes a perv, and she's got to deal with that handsy perv Penguin. And people are just like, we'll give her a pass on the puns because she had to deal with all that.
Because it's gross. I mean, it's like the Penguin's so gross. I mean, I guess that's his character, obviously. He's a disgusting man. Right, exactly. It's just like you got Christopher Walken, which I used to be able to do a Christopher Walken impression, but it's like, I can't do it anymore. I lost it. But it's like, the Penguin, I can't do it anymore. I just can't. But like,
the Penguin.
The Penguin. Yeah, it's good.
I'm throwing you out the window, Michelle Pfeiffer, because you caught me doing bad stuff. I can't have you seeing me do bad stuff. I'm trying to do it, but I think I'm falling into like bad character actor on Sopranos when I'm doing it. So.
Like, I mean, because, our buddy, our friend of the show, a friend of the podcast, Jay Moore, from, Hollow Point. He does that great Christopher Walken.
Oh, yes. Yeah. This is fantastic.
It's pretty good. I mean, I used to be able to do, because I remember I watched all these Walken movies when I was a kid or a teenager, like Prophecy. I remember watching The Prophecy and and talking while he was talking, and like, oh, I got it. And then it went away because I kind of, now I'm back on impressions, but I had a long break of doing no impressions. Right. So you lose some of them.
Yeah, especially if you start developing other impressions, they sort of take over the, like, it's almost like it's hard to like come out of the new impressions to do those older ones.
Exactly. Sometimes I mix up my Dolph and Stallone because that's another segue because I'm really jumping around today. But I did watch Samaritan, the movie that's on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah. Did
you watch that?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
You gotta watch it because I think I mentioned to you on message that he has this amazing one-liner. I'm dying to give it away, but I can't because you're gonna crack up.
Yeah.
So every time I told this to Brad, some other people, and they thought that's hilarious how ridiculous it is. It's so perfect. I think
Yeah.
Tulsa King is coming back.
Oh, so they're
September
on
16th.
Paramount? Would that be on
Yeah.
Paramount? Is that what's on? Yeah.
Did you watch season 1?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. I've been meaning to watch it. I've got a lot of shows I've got to catch up on.
Wow.
I'm like behind on shows.
Well, guess what show I'm about to recommend?
You know which one?
The Player.
Oh yes. I know. You know the problem with The Player was I was saying the last time. So when I was taking the train, because The Player is on Tubi, I couldn't download the episodes.
It's you have to download it. Wait, you have Tubi on your phone?
No, well, on my tablet.
On your tablet. Oh, okay. Okay.
Because on the train has really bad. So Amtrak has really bad. It's notoriously bad Wi-Fi. In part just because there's so many people on it that are using it, so you can't stream.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and I think, well, yeah, it looks like Tubi is the only one that has it for streaming.
He played. Oh, he's a tablet. I keep thinking you have like a laptop.
Well, so I have a laptop too, but but when I travel lately, because now that so the reason why I got the tablet because my wife had the tablet before, and then the screen was starting to go where it was like when you clicked the home button, it wasn't turning back on. So we got her a new tablet, but I was like, this tablet's still working enough, and so then it was like when I was traveling, I'd put movies and stuff on it because when you're that close to the screen, it looks good enough, right? For that size.
On the phone, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, because the phone is good too. I mean, I like the phone, especially when I've already seen the movie before, or if I'm flying, and I'm flying on Spirit or Frontier, and I can't pack that much anyway. I'm just gonna put my phone.
That's right. You can't pack anything. You said
right.
You barely pack a toothbrush.
Right. Exactly. So it's like, all right, we'll do the phone instead. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I've got to make it. I just got to do it. I've just got to just hunker down and just be like, I'm watching The Player.
It's 9 great episodes.
Yeah.
I can't push it enough. Okay, so yeah, Tulsa King also worth watching.
Yeah.
You got Stallone being his extra Stallone. And season 2, Neil McDonough, our buddy.
Oh yeah, you got to have Neil McDonough.
Our friend of the show from Machine, Neil McDonough, is the villain.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Of course, it's the villain. Well, he has evil face, as I mentioned on the podcast. Like Kerry Tagawa, he has evil face.
Right.
Hey, but I think we were talking about Striking Distance for a little bit, and what have you been watching? I'll go back.
We were talking about, which I guess we can probably when we start talking about, because our 2 movies today are Fortress. Yeah, we're looking at Fortress. We're going back to the Willis well with Fortress, so we could probably dovetail with Striking Distance a bit with that because
I'll hold my Striking Distance stuff then.
Right, that was a fun one there. But also the other movie is Shepherd Code, which we haven't had any Dom the Dragon Wilson on during these 2 episode series yet.
Yeah, and hey, back in this newest movie, which you can talk about right now, I'll get. Oh wait, what have you been watching? I cut you off.
So I haven't been watching much. I've been watching the old Star Treks for the DTVC Extra podcast, and it's very interesting to watch those because they all they're all from like kind of the the early into the mid to late 80s, and so it's like it's the old cast, but also it's like. From a blockbuster standpoint, I think part 4 is the one that's like closest to kind of like Marvel type movies.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they're kind of like what with you watching Striking Distance recently, which is another one. One of the things I talked about Striking Distance a little bit with Will from Exploding Helicopter because Rowdy Harrington, who did Roadhouse, directed that one. But there is something about those movies from the 80s and 90s, those kind of blockbusters. There's something like a Striking Distance or those the Star Trek movies that there's almost like a pizza movie quality to them where
yes, I totally understand.
Yeah, a junk food maybe quality, but it's like like Striking Distance. I think even more so than these Star Trek movies that I've been watching. Like when you brought up that you're watching Striking Distance, I just saw just a a cardboard box with pizza, pizza box with pepperoni and mushroom or something in it.
I had some pizza. What did I have instead? I forget. I got a hamburger from a place called Glenwood.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's even that. Good burger, chips or whatever. But it's like it's just that kind of movie where it's like Obviously now we're not watching them on tube TVs, but I just think of it like being on like a, CRT tube
Yeah,
TV.
that's a
And
great feeling, isn't it? Like
yeah,
a great memory because I know what you mean. It's like you're watching on tube TV. It's a little faded. You can still watch the
yeah,
movie. You got your Bruce Willis and his ever changing hair. And
right,
my goodness. I mean, like
right.
he really. Well, I said I'll save my striking distance comments till the end, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
I promise I'll do. I won't say any more about striking distance. But I
Oh
mean,
no, no,
like,
we can talk about because
oh,
I've
okay,
kind of dovetailed us into striking distance. So
okay, sure, happy to. So his ever changing hair, because
right,
he like bit into a freaking pretzel to hide his thinning hair in this movie. It's like it's all it is. It's just a bunch of wigs,
right,
and I showed you that bald
yeah,
shot.
right,
Like, where'd it go? Where's your wig? What's it fell in the
right,
water when you're fighting Robert Pastorelli? I
right.
want to call him Robert. Like, what's the word? Like, and I can think of the food. It's like,
Oh, I don't know. I didn't realize Robert Pastorelli's no longer with us. Did you know
yeah,
that?
he passed away a while ago.
Wow, I had no idea. But yeah, well, I'm trying to think of what like pasticelli, pasta.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like a pasta or some sort of meat. I'm thinking of. I can never think of it.
oh,
But yeah,
oh, prosciutto or
it
pasta
is.
or
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah,
but yeah, it's a weird movie because it's like first off the movie's a mess.
yeah.
Because I heard it was reshot and then because look at his hair, and then you got Robert, pastrami. That's what I was thinking of. So
Pastrami.
Robert,
Oh, right.
yeah. So
Yes,
Robert
Robert
Pastrami is
pastrami.
fighting, is fighting Bruce Willis. R.I.P. Robert Pastrami, but I'm going to call you Robert Pastrami. Okay. So it's
Right,
like, okay, Robert,
right. Well,
Robert
I
Pastrami,
always.
okay.
Right, right.
And
Well,
it was
I
like,
always.
okay, I go right to Trump. But okay,
I,
so go ahead, please.
Well, I was gonna say, I always think of him with like the suspenders, with the one suspender off, like doing work on Murphy Brown's house that he was never finishing, and she would just
Yeah, I
show up
know.
and like complain to him or whatever, and he'd be like, "Oh, no, just mess with your house." And it's so, yeah,
That's
there's something
basically
very
what he is.
pastrami about the whole thing.
I saw Pastrami. It's just like, um, because here's, I'm thinking people have seen Striking Distance or rewatch it today on laser or VHS or DVD or Blu-ray or is that Betamax? I'm not sure. Um, wonder when Betamax went away. It's kind of like the old Nintendo. Like they really pushed Nintendo's graphics. But
Right,
okay, if you remember what the plot of Striking Distance is, Bruce Willis is chasing like this serial killer. And his name like the no, I already watched like the Pines Killer or something. She knows
right,
watched it, but then so they clearly there's a huge spoiler right at the beginning. A certain Robert person might be the killer. He's shown right then. Like what?
right,
It's like he's there. There he is. It's supposed to be
right,
a surprise. It might be pastrami. It's like so. It guess what? It's pastrami. And it's just like
right.
and you got and so then he becomes so he then there's this car chase in the beginning. Bruce Willis and John Mahoney. If you remember this part.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And they stole that footage from the movie called The Blaze with
right,
Ice-T and Tom Arnold. And
right,
it's so funny because Ice-T is supposed to be playing the John Mahoney part, or in the footage.
right, right.
And someone else is driving, who's supposed to be Bruce Willis, and someone in the passenger seat is what's his name, John Mahoney. So it's
Yeah,
hilarious that Ice-T and John Mahoney are like the same person.
right.
I never seen two people so similar. And then Bruce Willis is like demoted and then becomes a riverboat cop or whatever.
Right, exactly.
And then Brian James,
Right,
all he does is yell at Bruce Willis. I'm like, I'll punch you anytime. Oh, and don't forget that Bruce Willis' name in the movie is Tom Hardy.
right,
And there's a review on Letterboxd that says Tom Hardy should remake Striking Distance, and his name is Bruce Willis.
right. That would be amazing. Why don't
That would be
people do
so.
that?
I think Tom Hardy was he acting or I'm not sure in the 90s. I haven't checked his filmography,
No,
but
yeah, I don't think so either. Because he would. I mean, if he was a kid. Because he was born in the late '70s, I think.
okay, interesting.
Yeah, I
So he
think
must
Tom
have
Hardy.
watched. And
Yeah.
then I wanted to get Tom Hardy's opinion on Striking Distance. It's like your name is here.
No, that would be the most. I mean, forget like whatever this bikers movie is that he's got coming out now.
Right to streaming to me. Like that looks like a streaming movie to me.
Yeah, just
Or
Right. Like, we don't need that, right? We need Tom Hardy playing Bruce Willis. So he's born in 77. So he's 2 years older than me. So he would have been
Okay.
15, 14, 15 when striking
When
distance. Or yeah,
it was
15.
we're doing the math today.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of math. Yeah. 15, 16 actually, because it was well, actually, because you said this, wasn't this movie shot earlier and then it came out later or something?
Oh, it came out in 93 or something like that. 92,
Yeah.
93.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, Hardy, yeah, we don't need the bike riders or whatever it's called. We need Tom Hardy needs to play Bruce Willis in a remake of Striking Distance. I don't know who you get for Sarah Jessica Parker's part, but you
I
know,
trying to think, oh, we can get her back. She looks the same. That'd be kind of
yeah,
funny. It's like, look, I'm back. It's like,
right. That would be great. Yeah, if she just came back. That would be actually, why not? Yeah, I mean, most of the unfortunately, almost everybody else is no longer with us, right? Dennis
I
Farina is
know.
no longer with us. Tom Sizemore, Pastorelli,
Yeah,
Brian James, Mahoney.
and
And
bro.
Andre, right? Exactly. Timothy Busfield's the only one. And do we even need Timothy Busfield? I don't.
Well, Russell plays Sacco in the movie.
Right.
He's
Exactly.
like, oh, there's Sacco. It's like,
Right.
yes, Sacco.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
this is. I wish this is distracting this podcast, but we should probably talk about
Well,
our movie. Want to say anything else about what you're watching?
no. This is perfect. Maybe it's a good segue. So we're going to start with Shepherd Code because
Yeah.
well, spoiler alert, Fortress was surprisingly not horrible.
Good. No,
Yeah, it was
no,
good.
the
It was
third
good.
person was in it. That really boosted it. We won't say who it is.
Yeah. So we thought we would end with that. Now, I should point out as well. So we're going Wilson, Willis, Wilson because we're doing Don the
Yes.
Dragon Wilson here, Willis with Fortress, and then we're doing for our spotlight on a fight, we're going to be looking at the end fight in Blackbelt between him and Matthias Hues. Well, actually, I don't know how soon into the fight if we're gonna go with like him fighting all those extras at the beginning
No,
before he
oh
gets to
no,
Matthias Hues.
just him and Hughes.
Okay, just him and Hughes. Okay, perfect. Okay, excellent. So yeah, so that'll be our episode today. So I guess what we'll get stuck in on Shepherd Code. So
Yeah.
Shepherd Code is an interesting one because there are a few things about Shepherd Code. One, it's came out in 2024. Came out this past year. It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi.
That's too big. I can't stop it. It's so addictive, right?
Yeah. And I think you spotted this first, right? That originally when this was on Letterboxd, it didn't have a thumbnail for the cover.
No, I couldn't find it. Like, where's Shepherd Code? I spell it wrong.
Right, exactly. It does. Now it's like kind of more fully fleshed out on there. But and when you go into IMDb, it doesn't have a runtime, so it's very bare bones. It's got 14 images.
Yeah, 79 minutes. I think when the credits start to run.
Yeah,
When I want to be.
yeah. It's very junky, and I'll do a quick synopsis. So it's Shepherd Code. So it has either the Shepherd Code or Shepherd Code. So you can go either way.
Yeah, I wrote down "the" in my notes.
Right.
But that's a great sentence. I wrote down "the" in my notes.
Right,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
that's basically what we're going with this movie. So get ready for tangents, everyone.
Yeah. So it features the writer and director or co-director is and star is Alan Dalaby, which I don't want to say is Alan. Yeah, Dalaby, I guess, or Dalaby. Yeah, but it's he plays a character named Alex Lupp here. He's a French descent or French origin. He's he's one of those guys that kind of wanted to make movies. He does martial arts and he's like, I'm just gonna make movies, and so he makes this movie where he plays somebody who like is a bodyguard for people. And in the past, his girlfriend, who he was also supposed to be protecting, she's killed by this baddie named Edson. Which if you look at Edson,
Yeah.
right, exactly,
Edson. He's a trained killer.
Right, named Edson, and he's played by an actor named Silvio Simac. Which, if you look at his picture on IMDb, he's just got like these wide eyes, and he's just like like I don't know what the face is. I don't know. Yeah, I think hey, Silvio, if you're gonna do these movies, I think you got to invest in a headshot guy and or headshot photographer and get that taken care of. But anyway, so Dalaby wants revenge on Edson, but at the same time, his boss, played by Don the Dragon Wilson, he plays a character named Lewis, he has another job for him. And this other job involves protecting another woman in the UK, who Edson just so happens to be paid to kill. So as they're traveling through the UK, it's kind of one of those deals where it's like collision course to wackiness, and Dalaby's both got to protect her from Edson, but also kill Edson so he can get his revenge. And that's pretty much it, I think. I don't know if I missed anything in the description.
No, you did. I mean, what I have here is, I was doing some research on this movie. I think it might be a sequel to a series called Borrowed Time. Have you heard of this? It's like, it's another, what's his name? Alan Deby?
Alan Dalaby? Deby? Alan Dalaby. Yeah.
Alan Dalaby. And I think this Borrowed Time series,
right.
With Alex. And I think Eric Roberts hanging around one of them. No, I get what he's going for here. I obviously we did not like this movie because it's not great. But I see what he was doing. He's trying to make an old school action movie, but it just didn't work out because there's nothing going on. I mean, you don't have any action. It's like you have to wait. And I thought he sounded like Van Damme a little bit, and also looked like Batista. Alan Deby. It's like, oh, a lobby. Did you notice that he kind of like Batista? Just like
there was a Batista element. I mean, he was. It was weird. Like he had the beard and then like the hair. Yeah, and like he has like so the character, the woman that he's protecting. Early on, they have like kind of a flashback sequence where they're making out, and he doesn't close his eyes when he's kissing her.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was like kind of flashbacks to the Righteous Brothers, right? Like you lost that love and feeling, right? You never close your eyes anymore when we kiss or whatever.
You must have listened to that song and really lean into it like that,
right? Exactly. So it made for a weird thing, especially with the fact that like he's got this beard and everything, and he's kind of awkward as it is, and then so you've got that stuff going on, and then like you said, like there's like dialogue between him and like the girl that he's traveling with, and that didn't seem to make any sense either, where he's like he throws her phone out the window, and then she's like, well, why are you using your phone if I can be tracked by the phone? And he's like, well, mine's safe. It's like, what? Like,
your phone's safe too. And there's a lot of beardos in this movie. That's one of my notes. There's a beardo who has a white beard, kind of look like Jeffrey Rush, or Jeff Rush, as I call him.
Right.
Geoff. You don't call him Jeff? I don't know. I'm calling him Jeff Rush.
Yeah,
we remember the guys in the beginning. He gets shot like near like the river. Like that. It's like, what is this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Man in a suit. He played the actor's name is Olivier Bonjour, which means hello. Yeah. I mean, have you ever? I guess it means good day. So I guess you could name. I guess is that a last name in English? Good day.
I guess. I mean, like I keep thinking. I thought bonjour means hi.
It means hi, right? It means hi, but like literally it's good day. But I mean, yeah, definitely.
Good day.
Yeah, naming somebody hello, right? Jim hello or Jim hi, right?
Hey, yeah, Jim hello. And his brother James goodbye.
Right, exactly.
You say goodbye. I say hello.
That's right. Because he's like giving Edson some information, and then Edson says something along the lines of like, you have a choice, either you die or your family dies, which makes no sense.
Like, what is that?
Right. Like, why are you giving him that choice that he dies or his family dies when you're just going to kill him anyway, which you do anyway? So like, why are you giving him that choice?
I know what kind of wacky Bourne ultimatum that is. It's like
exactly.
I just want to sneak that in. So let's see. Oh, and then Alan Dalaby says, this really is my last job. It's like, yeah, sure.
Right.
But I think because this is a Don the Dragon Wilson related podcast today. What'd you think? What'd you think of his newest role here? Like, I haven't seen him in a while. It's like, I thought the close-ups of him were kind of low rent.
Yes.
Yeah, it was nice to see him.
It was good to see him. I think that's it. Right?
That's it. That's a great point. As I said, it was good to see him. That's what I wrote in my notes.
And he's not in it much. He's in it at the very, kind of not quite the beginning, but kind of like the mid beginning.
Yeah, I think I had 8 minutes in or 12.
That could, that makes sense. Yeah. And then he's there at the very end. And he's just being Don the Dragon. It's one of the things I would say is that, we always would crack on Wilson for not being a great actor, in those like Blood Fist movies and the Ring of Fires and things like that. But it's funny. in this movie, wouldn't you say like he was the best actor?
Yes, he was. And maybe he should act. He should go back to acting a bit more. I mean, he could be in one of these junkers again, but maybe just do a bit more. Just have it be like a twist to the movie. Like, look, I'm really the bad guy.
Right. Yes,
And
that would have been cool.
And he fights Alan Delaby, and he goes, "Oh,
Yes.
when he goes, hey, I wanted to hear that."
Right. Well, that's one thing we got robbed of, right? Because he doesn't fight anybody, so we don't get any of the
And you totally heard, right, when you watched that Matthias fight.
Yes.
Well, we had to. There's something about every time he said, I just laughed. I just laughed my head off. It was like, it cracks me up. So what else I have? Oh, in the beginning, he's talking to one of his friends. Oh, which he says all the time. He says, "You will help me, right, Alan Delaby?
Yes.
You will help me, right?" But in the background, there's that silly kid punching the punching bag.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Right. Because he's going to meet his buddy, who I can't remember what that actor's name was or what the character was, but it might have been Jeff Langton. It might have been.
Oh, but he's going to be like, Jeff Bonjour Jr. It's just
right, exactly. Yeah. Well, because he's like the guy's got like he's your classic like guy with like the hat and like the chain or whatever, and he's like training fighters or something, and he's like, yeah, this Edson guy's connected. He's really connected, but I can help you find him. It's like we find out that this Edson guy is like this like high up like assassin who's like almost like a you're sort of like you're internationally trained like master of espionage kind of thing. He's not like just some guy who's like connected by like the mob or something like that. It's like they made it sound like he's just like some mob boss that like it might be hard for him to get to. It's like no, he's like this internationally renowned criminal.
Who was that guy we saw in the now classic movie Operation Black Ops? Operation Black Ops. Wait, what was it called?
Yeah, Operation Black Ops. Yeah.
Operation Black Operation.
Right.
It's like so. Who's the guy? That just is the end. That's it. Like that's like the movie in a nutshell. It's called Operation Black Operation. Right. Like that's the movie in a nutshell. So if you think that's stupid, you can stop the movie now because. But yeah, who's that guy? The guy with the beard.
Mike Ferguson, the tattoo artist.
Yeah, he kind of I had like that guy vibe. I forgot his name, but it's like. Also, I thought the best part of the movie really was Down the Dragon. Also, I got some Raymore and Flanagan ads. Now I need to get a new bed. That's good. Right. Did you get Raymore and Flanagan ads?
No. What did I get for ads? So, because we have Raymore and Flanagan here in Philadelphia too, but I didn't get Raymore and Flanagan. What did I get? I must have got. I mean, it's always gambling. I get a lot of gambling ones.
Gambling ones.
Yeah.
Usually I get like, buy some paper towels or, look at this car and maybe some Raymore and Flanagan.
Right. No, I get like Vanessa Hudgens or whatever for MGM Casino or,
I've seen that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of betting on my phone. Like they just really what Tubi wants me to do is when I'm not watching movies, they want me playing slots. Like if I'm in line at the store or something like that, just blowing all my money on slot machines.
I don't trust online gambling like that. Like you can really lose some money.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I if you have a gambling addiction, call GA today. But it's like,
right. Yeah.
I don't get. You have to be that. I don't like slots. I'll go to the actual casino. We have a casino in Connecticut, Mohegan or Foxwoods.
Oh yeah.
And, I don't know if you've been there.
Oh yes, definitely. I've been to both. Yeah.
Mohegan. I go to Mohegan. But it's kind of lame.
Is it Foxwoods or Mohegan that has the Junior's Cheesecake Shop?
Great question. I cannot answer that for you.
Okay.
It might be Foxwoods. We have a Johnny Rockets. That's not really cake, but we also there's was there a Michael Jordan Steakhouse or what's the guy's name? Guy.
Yes, but I know what you mean. I know you. Yeah, at Mohegan's. That's okay.
Naked kitchen or whatever. It's like,
right. Exactly.
I would say there's something similar.
Right.
Well, I only go a couple times a year because I like to have money in my account. It's like I don't want to become poor. It's like, see, that's the good news. That's the good thing about watching movies about gambling. Like, now I can't think of one. The Gambler. And was that one Ryan Reynolds? You ever see that Mississippi Grind?
Oh yes, yeah.
Or what's the other one? Yeah. Well, this casino. But that's not really about gambling addiction. It's more like the mob. But it's
Right.
like,
Yeah. Right.
but,
Exactly.
but
Yeah. 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 Gambling is like it's secondary in that movie, right?
it's
It's
like, oh
like
yeah, gambling. Well,
right.
they beat up that guy cheating or whatever. They
Right. That's
smacked
the best.
his
Yeah.
head with the hand.
Yeah. One of the best lines ever, right? Like you can either have the money in the hammer, or you can have the door. You can't have both.
That's good. I mean, you know what's weird about Casino? A good movie. Good movie.
Yeah.
It does drag a little bit in the beginning.
Hmm.
Well, he just stabbed that. Well, Joe Pesci. Let's bring Joe Pesci back.
Yeah.
Let's make 9 heads in a duffel bag. By the way,
Yeah.
you can fit one more head in a duffel, right? It's only 8 heads in a duffel bag.
Yes.
Um, it's I'll give you a little spoiler. We've been doing on our podcast. The wait, now I can't think of it. There was a grab bag full of gems.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So we just did number 5. So for when we get to number 8, we're gonna call it 8 gems in a duffel bag.
Right. Jim's himself. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's our plan. Because I love saying the word duffel.
Right.
Oh yeah. So right, Mississippi Grind. Have you seen that? It's Ryan Reynolds, I think, and his friend are having gambling problems.
I haven't seen it. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Well, it's a movie you watch when you have nothing to do in the morning. It's a morning movie, as I call it, because it's like it's a movie you can watch. It's watchable, but it's a movie about gambling.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucky You. Is that about gambling? It has Drew Barrymore's
That's a good question. I don't remember if that one
gambling,
was.
or maybe just playing poker. It's. I think Robert Downey Jr. is hanging around that. See, they can't have Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds in the same scene because they'll talk really fast, and you definitely need subtitles.
Right. Right.
It's like,
Yes. Exactly.
he
Exactly.
talks
Oh,
really fast.
it is poker. Yeah. I mean, poker is technically gambling. It's like
Yeah,
it it's gambling in a different way, right? Like, like the slot machine is the one like when you're
talk,
playing poker or like I play horses. Like I'll watch, horse racing. It's like with the horse racing, I'll pick a one track and
uh,
tracks run every half hour. So it's like I'm only spending money every half hour. And then if I win, right, then it's like even better. I remember my buddy and I, we won on a big horse race. We actually got pizza at Mystic Pizza 2.
oh, nice.
Yes, this is like, yeah. But yeah, with poker, it's the same thing because it's like you're kind of playing at the table. And it kind of bleeds your money out a little bit. I've never really played poker at a casino before. I just, I've seen people play. But the slot machine, right? The slot machine is like you put the money in, you pull the thing, and immediately you get an answer of
Yeah.
like, there's no
There-
half hour delay or anything like that.
well, there's a game I play at the casino. It's called well, I call it Lobster Larry, but it has a different name. Or I forget. Oh, but I should know this by now. But yeah, we call it Lobster Larry. It's like Larry's fish. I'm really screwing up names today. Um, but it's a great game because you can win a lot of money on the pennies.
Oh
Oh, the penny
yes.
slot. So it's really fun.
Yeah.
I'll get the name later. Wait, we're talking about slot machines. Oh,
Yeah.
what commercials we saw out there in Shepherd Code?
Right. Yeah.
So,
So one of the things I will say, one of the bright spots for me in Shepherd Code was when they go to the UK and they're traveling up the UK, they go to this like cafe that really just looks like a uh a rec center that has tables and you can get coffee at it, but I guess it's supposed to be a cafe. And there's Rachel, the waitress, who seems really nice, and her boyfriend is like the biggest jerk ever. And of course, he starts with Dalabi, right? Because you just have to. And he gets the crap beaten out of him by Dalabi, and his buddy also gets the crap beaten out of him by Dalabi. And then Dalabi leaves and of course, 2 minutes later they're like walking like Bill Bixby or Bruce Banner after right.
that's what Bruce Willis did in American Siege, right?
Right, exactly. It's just like yeah,
He's like, I'm
no
sad I
car.
got found by a fake nepper.
Right, right, exactly. So then Edson shows up after because he's tracking them. He's at the place and he's asking the girl like the waitress Rachel if she's seen anybody, and she's like, oh yeah, they were here. She's a little freaked out, and her boyfriend's got to like give him a hard time, and of course Edson's like, well, I'm not as nice as the lobby. I'm not just going to beat you up. I'm going to shoot you in the forehead and kill you, which seems a little bit rough. I mean, yes, the guy was annoying. I guess yeah. But it was an interesting thing that there's like, oh, it's like you were talking about, like the whole movie has like so little happening with it, They just had to insert these two coffee shop scenes in to like just make something happen.
I mean, let's not forget about the great coffee shop from Operation Black Operations, which is
Right?
like
Yes.
you're like in the CIA, like FBI, right? Like he's like a guy, like in the FBI. It's like that was funny. It's like, I wish I can compare it to this movie. To Operation Black Ops is a whole different kind of movie.
Yeah. I mean, this verges on that territory.
It's close, but
Yeah.
it's not silly enough.
Right. It doesn't have enough silly to make it an Operation Black Ops, or definitely not a Phoenix, right? Like it's just it's like it's low rent, but
Yeah,
not enough in that
that's funny you
silly,
said low
funny
rent.
kind of way.
Yeah. So yeah, I wrote down the low rent also. If I was interested, we both did that. So I'm trying to figure out that name of the slot machine. I should know by. Oh, Lobster Mania. That was it.
Oh, lobster, yeah. So now
Yeah.
when you play the slots, do you do kind of a setup where you kind of like pace yourself and play, or do you kind of just you've got the
Well,
money that you know you came with, and you're just like, well,
yes, the
yeah,
latter. So it's like, okay, here's like a $75 for Lobster Mania, and I just
yeah,
play that. And then,
yeah. But I think the thing that's good about that, right, is that like you have to like as opposed to having it on your phone where oh, I'm waiting in line, I'll just blow $75 while I'm in line
yeah,
waiting to you're like, okay, I know what I'm going to spend at the casino. That's my
yeah,
cap. And if I win something, great. If I don't, like, because I think that's the thing, right? Is that you lose the 75 and you go, well, maybe the next one I'll get it back, right?
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, want to fall into that trap. Wait a
No.
second, no cap. That was like these teens today say,
Yeah.
because I think, does that mean like you're out of money or something?
No cap means no lie. I believe.
Oh, see, I
Yeah.
don't understand what that cap means. Lie. I don't get that, but okay.
I think no cap means no. Yeah, it means no lie. So cap means you're lying.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. And then what the kids do is they'll be on Twitter. And I say kids, like these are people in
They'd
their
be on
20s.
Twitter. Yeah.
They're on Twitter and like say it's like a famous person and it's like like you might like someone will be like like, oh man, like this player, he's not any good at whatever, somebody will like decide to make like some kind of post about a player on Twitter, which it doesn't make any sense to me, but they do it. And then that player might see it and respond and be like cap or no cap or what, so
Because
yeah.
when it's just a few, what was it about? I think it was close to a year ago now, where like Ben Shapiro had like a rap song, and he was for this, and he said no caps. Like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, oh god, I'm a
That's yeah.
warmonger. I'm a warmonger. I'm Ben Shapiro. Speaking of warmonger, like that's what he. Plus, he's annoying. Okay, yes, he made that Gina Carano movie, and Gina Carano movie. That's her name. Gina Carano didn't beat her up. Didn't beat him up. Did you hear about Terror on the Prairie? You ever heard of this movie?
No. So Gina Carano did a movie with.
Carano made a movie for the Daily Wire called
Right. I
Terror.
knew about that. Yeah.
And our upcoming fight guy, Matthias Hues, is hanging around it. I haven't seen it because you can only buy it on dailywire.com. I'm subscribing for some movie like that.
Right.
But like, I'll watch it if I'm not going to get. I'm not going to get Ben Shapiro any money. It's like
No, of course not.
no cap on that one, right?
Right,
So like,
right, exactly. No cap.
like,
Oh, it's
but yeah.
got
So
Donald
and then they had
Cerrone,
that
who
rap
seems to be in
song.
all these movies.
Oh, wait, so go ahead. Sorry.
It's got Donald Cerrone, who seems to be in all of these movies that we've been doing too.
Oh, right, because there's Ed Marone. He's in Final Kill, which I watched. That's for another podcast, but
Right. Yeah. No, Donald Cerrone, or Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone.
oh, I've heard of this Cowboy Cerrone. Wait,
Yeah.
what else has he been in?
I thought he was in the Sesma movie we did last time around.
Oh, he was.
Lights
Wasn't he
Out.
in Lights Out? Yeah, it was in
I think he
Lights
was
Out
in
with
Lights Out. Yeah. He just seems to
Dermot.
do a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I guess. See, that's an interesting idea. Like when you're an actor like Cowboy Cerrone, you just stick to like the B movie market. It's like I'm not saying that's a negative thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, if I was an actor, I'd stick to the B movie market because you can keep working. It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah. So the Gina Carano was called Terror on the Prairie, and Ben Shapiro produced it.
She
And
plays a
like
woman named Hattie.
And I looked into this movie, like, oh, Gina Carano. Okay.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really kill anybody. She sits in a house all day doing nothing. And then maybe shoots like one person. And Ben Shapiro doesn't get shot or get punched.
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate. That's all. Oh, wait. So also, know what I see on Instagram all the time? You must see this too. I don't want. What's with that like gross girl going Hawk 2 all the time? All I do. Did you see this?
I've heard of it. So somebody made a joke about because somebody made a joke about so the Red Sox, one of the pitchers in the Red Sox, his name is Hauk.
Oh no.
And so somebody made the joke that he was Hauk 2 or something like that.
Yeah, and it's like this woman doing some sort of like wacky like sex jokes or something. And it's like, but somehow it's become viral. And it's like, first off, don't you see this stuff all the time, like on Instagram anyway? So why does this make a difference?
Right.
It's like, that's just my question. I don't know. I just almost feel bad for this person. It's like, but it's like, I see it every day. And also Justin Timberlake, he got arrested, right?
Oh yes, I heard about that. Yeah.
And I guess the story was that the cop didn't recognize him and didn't know who he was. It's like, you didn't recognize the star of Edison Force? How dare you? You're off the force. You're off Edison Force now. It's like so he needs to have a mandatory watch of 3 watches of Edison Force, and then you can get back. You can get your badge back. Right. I've seen Edison Force once. I've seen it 3 times. So I can go on the Force now. But it's like,
right.
Edison Force, great movie. It's like,
because it's out in the Hamptons. He was out in the Hamptons, so you wonder if like the cops in the Hamptons are not going to watch Edison Force like they should.
It's a great movie. I watched it last year. It was just, I loved every minute of it because it's such a weird, especially Kevin Spacey's hair.
Right.
I think I should get a picture of that, and also Carrie Elway's looking exactly like Tucker Carlson.
Right. Yeah.
And what's his name? Who's the great? The guy from Livewire, Human Time Bomb.
Genesee? Not Genesee.
Or was it Genesee? It's supposed to be Brian Genesee. Brian Genesee's supposed to be hanging around in it.
I've got to see Livewire, Human Time Bomb.
You gotta watch Edison Force. It's a classic.
Well, yeah, Edison Force as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Brian Genesee is like Kevin Spacey's like helper in the movie. And he plays a guy named Campos.
Oh, that's it.
It's like, so trust me, when I finally kind of realized who Brian Genesee was, well, I knew already, but then I really know him. It's like, okay, I'm looking for Campos.
Right.
So I found Campos. He was there for like a split second.
Yeah.
Like, this Campos. I mean, Brian Genesee. It's Campos. It's Campos and Kevin Spacey. So yeah, definitely people should watch Edison Force, which I mentioned. So now almost getting close to 20-year mark.
Yeah. Right. And if you look at Genesee's bio, his bio, he does a music video called "Actors and Athletes Against Gang Violence" in 2023. But other than that, he was doing Bold and Beautiful. He was doing the Bold and the Beautiful. He did 180 episodes. Sometime it says between 1987 and 2009. I can't imagine that.
Well, I mean, like he was doing Street Justice,
right? I was just thinking, I can't imagine him being like. Maybe the show has been on since 87 to 2009. He wasn't doing. Yeah, he wasn't on from that. I don't think he had that big of a run, like a 22-year run on the show. I think he was like, he came on later. But I mean, he has a very like soap opera actor look. He does.
That's true. So maybe he was a soap opera actor. I know it's not the Genesee podcast, but I will take a look. You gotta love his name in the movie. Circuit 2? It's Circuit 2, Final Punch, which is, or Circuit 1 is Vixton Hack. Vixton, cool name, Vixton Hack. Awesome. That was my name. It's awesome. It was Editor Bill, of course, but just like what's his name now? See, my memory is not good today. Bill Murray. So. Yeah, look at that. He really felt bad guys or bad guys in hell, which you can maybe if you scout. Did you send me a link to that?
Bad guys in hell. Oh, yes, maybe. I know it's there. So and I will quickly say about Genesee. He actually did. He did so Bold and the Beautiful ran from 87 to 2009. He was in the first season in 87. He did first year of it. So he did 100.
Yeah, he did 100. What was his name in it?
Rocco something.
Of course it was.
Yeah, Rocco. Sorry, I was clicking. So 'cause I clicked on the bad guys one. Let's see here. Uh, Rocco Karner. I don't know where that name comes from, but yeah,
Rocco Karner. You gotta love it.
yeah.
I because then I go right back to wow, my memory's terrible today. I figured he's Grant Show. Now he's cool.
Great show. Oh yes, yeah. From Melrose. Yeah.
Well, there's only one really. There's two great episodes. Well, the two-parter of Melrose, but this is when Catherine Ireland blew up Grant Show's boat. But it's like,
Yes.
Jake Hansen. It's such a classic like name.
Yes.
It's like, no, my boat, Jake Hansen's boat.
Right.
It's a weird show. I mean, like, I think I mentioned on probably another previous podcast, but I did finally finish the program.
Yeah.
It took about 3 years. I couldn't take it anymore because it was like, oh, Bailey, Courtney Thorne-Smith going Bailey.
Right.
It's like, and then Thomas Calabro.
Oh yeah, yes, you gotta
Great.
love him.
Yeah, but also Jack Wagner.
Yeah.
You got Jake Hansen, a fake name in the show, and then you got Jack Wagner, perfect name for a soap opera name. It's like so that's not great. Go ahead, please.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, I was speaking of Courtney Thorne-Smith, I was visiting my family recently. I was playing volleyball with my niece and nephews, and I was pulling out moves from Side Out, which features Courtney Thorne-Smith. Who
Great.
Yeah, when we were in high school, we saw Side Out, and we started doing like the moves in gym class. We would get kicked out of gym class because we'd be messing around doing all these moves. But yeah, so I was like showing them like the different serves and stuff that the characters did. So I was like, I gotta watch Side Out. I haven't seen it in a while. And yeah, there's Courtney. She's only like 22 when she. I mean, she wasn't that old, I guess, when she did that. Melrose, and then it was like she did Chairman of the Board with Carrot Top, and then suddenly she was Jim Belushi's wife, and according to Jim.
Well, according to Jim, yeah, I never watched that. I mean, I've seen like when he flipped the channels of the show, you watch for a second when he flipped the channels. Oh
Yes.
yeah, James Belushi, Jim. It's like,
yeah, I saw one episode of According to Jim, and I think what it was is they were doing a thing on that whole like Bartman thing, and I don't know if you know the story in Chicago with the Cubs. This guy Bartman, he when the Cubs were close to going to the World Series in 2003, and a ball came near him. He was near the fence, and he came near him. He went to go catch it, and he bumped into the player who was trying to catch it at the same time. And the player missed it, and then the Marlins, who were playing the Cubs, came back and won because of that, because it would have been an out that would have ended the inning. So all the people in Chicago lost their minds, and like they had to get security to like help him out and get all kinds of stuff like that. So I guess they did a take on that where Belushi was the guy who like grabs the ball, and he's like dealing with this like all the blowback. I want to say it was that, or it could have been the show with Donal Long that was on Fox, and that maybe Donal Long did it.
Donald Logue?
Oh, Donald Logue, yeah, not Long, Logue, yeah.
Well, you gotta watch Terriers. If you mentioned Donald Logue, I gotta mention you gotta watch Terriers. It should be still on Hulu.
Yes, yeah, I stopped watching Gotham when he left Gotham.
He left. I was on the whole. I know Chickless was hanging around on Gotham.
Oh,
and
was
of course, he was someone. Yeah. And it's like, I know our favorite 2003 Brooding from the OC. What's his name? Ryan Atwood. He was the main character.
Right, he was Commissioner Gordon, which was actually he was a good Commissioner Gordon. I stopped watching because it was just like it just evolved into just cutting off people's hands and cutting out their eyes and stuff like that. And I was like, okay,
that's what was going on. I only watched the first. What's going on in this show?
Like, yeah. It's like I thought it was Batman. I don't care about cutting off hands and eyes and stuff like that. Like that's is this a network TV show too? And it was like, they're just like, no, we're cutting out eyes and hands and stuff and going for it.
Because I never liked. Well, when I used to watch it, and then I didn't like Jada Pinkett Smith's name in it, Fish Mooney, and it made me mad. Right. So it's like, so I stopped watching because I hated her name. I know it's really petty. I'm petty about certain names. So Fish Mooney, people named Ziggy.
Yes.
I had another one. Oh, Boo Boo Stewart. I can't stand that name.
Yeah.
I used to get mad at Army Hammer, and then now he's just doing like cannibal commercials or something. But it's like,
well, The other thing too about her character, about Fish Mooney, about that character was that like she was only supposed to be in the show for like and I guess she only did 28 episodes, so it wasn't like she was in forever, but she was only supposed to be in like at the very beginning, and then like her character was supposed to like kind of make way for the Penguin, who was played by Robin Lord Taylor, which I remember him. I think he was in John Wick 3. He was like one of the people that worked in like that big office that like like would like stamp the books that would say like John Wick's excommunicated and things like that. Like he was one of those guys. He had like
He's one of those guys. Okay,
yeah, the
they
piercings and the
show
tattoos and the suit. Yeah, and he's just like yep.
It cracks me up. Like, oh, it's like I don't see them go to work. They should be like a prequel, like those people, which I'm surprised they haven't done yet.
Exactly, they should. That would be awesome.
John Wick presents Excommunicado.
Right. All they do is like they hang out at like coffee shops and stuff when they're not working. They just talk about the people that they've and it's like, yeah, or maybe they hire a new person and it's like, wait, I gotta write things on a chalkboard. I've never used a chalkboard my entire life because they're all whiteboards now. Sorry, kids, you got to learn how to use the chalkboard. It's like a whole episode of them like learning, like a montage of them writing on a chalkboard and getting, it's like the squeaking and it's breaking.
Yeah. And then they go, hey, John, John Wick, it was like a character to come by for like a quick cameo, like literally walk on appearance.
Right. Yes.
Like,
hey.
I'm in the office. Not interested.
I came to pick up a book.
Yeah.
Oh, right this way, John. Yeah, it's right in here. Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
And he doesn't even say goodbye. They go, goodbye, John. He just nods at them, right? And then just
and walks in slow motion with his like floppy hair. And like and his
cool. He's got the dog trailing behind him. Yeah.
Yeah. What did the dog in part 2? Like he can't. There's no dog in part 3. Maybe he just lives with Lance Reddick now.
I think that's what happens. Is Lance because Lance takes the dog in part 3, which is interesting. It's like an interesting like I guess loophole that like John is excommunicado, but the dog, I guess that's an interesting thing that like how bad the high table is, but they actually have a carve out for dogs where it's like, hey, maybe, yeah, like, oh, John Wick did some horrible stuff, but the dog shouldn't have to suffer for what John Wick did.
Well, I guess that's fair. It's like, the dog is not an assassin.
Right, exactly, right. The dog didn't kill anybody. Now, I wonder if a dog bites somebody on the continental grounds, if that means the dog's in trouble.
You know what? That's a great point. Maybe that's what really happened to that Francisco guy. He, spoiler for John Wick 2, he gets shot.
Yeah, right.
But maybe the dog bit him first.
Right, right, exactly.
And then I don't know what's the dog name. I forget. Daisy, or maybe Daisy 2.
No, I don't think he never named the dog. Right, he just called the dog Dog.
Daisy was the original dog.
Right,
Daisy passed away. But that stupid, what's his name? Vito guy. It's like Vigo's son.
Right.
It's like I love that speech from John Wick 1. It's like, your son took that from me.
Yeah.
It was. I never seen him that like mad Keanu Reeves like that.
Yeah,
it was great. So you give me your son, or you'll die standing beside him. And then Daniel Bernhardt like tries to choke him, whatever. And
right.
Like, what is a great sentence to say? All that Daniel Bernhardt like hanging around in like these bigger movies now.
Yes.
We used to watch him, in our way. Perfect Target, Blood Fist, Ben Franklin, or whatever. And it's just like, what?
Yeah, Blood Fist 4 with Ben Franklin, running the Dark Kumite.
Yeah, Dark Kumite. Oh yeah, Blood Fist 4 and the Dark Franklin. But it's just like, and we knew that Ben Franklin was evil anyway, right? It's
right.
Like, this is perfect. The shipper code. Yeah, so we got to finish up the shipper code.
Yeah, I guess we'll finish it. But I will say quickly about Bernhardt that I think has been really cool about that is that Bernhardt, he transitioned so well out of that period where all the big names went into DTV and all his DTV roles dried up. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do The Matrix. I'm going to do John Wick, and I'll do these small parts in those movies. And it's actually kind of a cool thing that he did there. So, which is kind of cool to see him in all that stuff.
Yeah, it was cool to see him in those movies. And it's like, hey, look, it's Daniel Bernhardt. I think I didn't watch this episode yet. I didn't watch the Equalizer program with Queen Latifah.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I follow Daniel Bernhardt on Instagram, and he says, "Yeah, me and my fight team were working on this Equalizer episode." And I gotta say, it looked pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, it was very well professionally shot. Queen Latifah wasn't in the fight scene, but it was very well made. It was very
Yeah.
well done because he trains Bob Odenkirk, for
Yeah.
nobody. Great movie, by the way. I love that barrel roll, which I think I mentioned before by Bob Odenkirk. And then he shoots. That was, I mean, that was legitimately awesome. Like, if
Yeah.
that's the only thing he did in the movie, that would give it almost over automatically 3 stars. Because I
Mm-hmm.
love barrel rolls. I love when Bob Odenkirk shoots people. So
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
it's like, I supposed to make Nobody too. I guess that could be all right. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
oh wait, so we're talking about Daniel Bernhardt. Something else that he was in recently. Oh well, maybe it's just a John Wick and stuff. But it's like, hey, look, and hey, we haven't seen that beard guy lately in movies.
Right.
What was his name again? Phoenix, something Phoenix. But it's just like, I think I had his name.
Oh.
The
I
beard
don't
guy, the
know.
longest beard. I had his name. Might be in my notes, but just like,
Yeah.
I think it's actually in my notes. If you give me 1 second, I can get it really fast.
Yeah.
Because I have it for unsung, or not unsung. No subject part 11.
Mm-hmm.
I think I wrote that down. Let me see here. Sorry for live TV here,
Yeah.
or TV. See, my brain doesn't work today, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tate Fletcher.
Oh, Tate Fletcher. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
you haven't seen
Yes.
Tate Fletcher lately, or I haven't really checked in on Mr. Tate Fletcher.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
he was
MMA
all over
guy.
2014. He was like the guy. It's like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
getting killed
Yeah.
by Keanu and Denzel Washington in one
Right.
year, or
Right.
about a year apart.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's too much. People have that kind of beard. You really got to work on that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Is your beard like that, or is it like a regular beard?
No,
It's
yeah,
just
I
like,
trim it. I do keep
okay,
it trim. Yeah, so I don't let it
yeah,
go too far. It's and I there's a part of me that I would want to get rid of it, but it's like when I shave it off completely, I don't like I'm so used to seeing my face with a beard that when I shave it
mhm,
off completely, it doesn't look right for a while. So yeah, it's always
yeah,
a
complete
difficult
opposite.
thing.
I can grow a beard, but I'll say I'm 37 years old. I mean, I still there's some gray coming in,
Yeah.
but it's just like it's not it's all gray, but it's like if I don't, I better be more careful. I gotta get dressed for men. It's just like so what is that? Like a paintbrush or something? I see the ads. It's like I'm not gonna get that. I don't care. I'll just shave. I look younger, cleaner, shaven, but
Yeah.
I'm very vain about those. Yes, but it's like not really. But um, wait, why does my brain work more today? Uh, it was something from it was a movie. Oh, it was Gamer,
Oh, right.
which is well, you've seen that, right? Um,
No, I haven't seen that one. That's Gerard Butler,
oh,
right?
you've seen Gamer.
No.
You gotta watch Gamer, but there's a part I could just give it away.
Yeah.
Gerard Butler is fighting. Well, he's fighting Michael C. Hall, Dexter, and he like punches him, and he goes, and then Michael C. Hall says, "Ah, that hurt." Not really. It's like it's like
That's awesome.
Michael C. Hall's awesome in Game. The whole movie is awesome because it's insane. It's
Yeah.
literally insane. It's like watching an insane person make a movie, which I hear they were on drugs, the devil
Yeah.
people. And
Right.
like that made sense now. So
Yeah.
he said that you're on mescaline, and it's like that makes sense if you watch the movie. Only people on some sort of wacky drug like that would make a movie like this. You gotta watch it. I mean, that's like top. I definitely will. I'm gonna push that one too, like The Player.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
definitely got
not
to make that one happen for sure.
because that's I quote certain things, and I guess no other people don't like that or like. Or do you see Street Kings? Another Keanu movie.
No, I haven't seen that one yet either. No,
Oh
I got it.
no!
Yeah. Yeah. Street Kings. No, I haven't seen that one either. Yeah. I have to check that
Oh
one
my
out too.
goodness! I
I
won't plug
know.
that one, but it's like, well, I can't say some of the things I say in that movie, but it's just like, I'll get in trouble.
Right.
But
Yeah. 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 You don't want to
they
push it.
no,
Yeah.
no, they say some stuff in there I cannot say. So,
Right.
Shepherd Code. So, um, I'm not going to recommend it.
No, it's a shame, right? Because it's
And
Don
that's
the Dragon
true.
Wilson, and it's I think the one thing that helps is that there's so much good Wilson on free streamers that
Good
that's where
point.
you should go for your Wilson fix.
Excellent point. And I wanted to recommend. 'Cause I feel like you had something there, just a little bit. But there's a dearth of action. You don't really
Yeah.
care,
Yeah.
and
It's
the
just
song you
just
get is a bit low rent. It's like too many negatives. It's just like
yeah.
I really wanted to like it. I really did. It's like
Yeah. But it just
so
doesn't.
that was into my notes on that one. So
Yeah. Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will do Fortress. I almost forgot the name. Well, actually, it wasn't that I forgot the name of it.
No,
I was I was looking for the three dots. Yeah, for to stop recording. But yeah, when we come back, we'll talk about Fortress. So we'll be back in two.
excellent.
It's the early 90s in LA. The war on drugs is raging, and Detective John Bainbridge is the LAPD's secret weapon against crime. Former Special Forces in Nam, he's a cop on the edge. When he and his partner Geary uncover a potential human trafficking ring, it doesn't take long before John Bainbridge realizes this thing goes all the way to the top, which doesn't scare him. That just means they'll fall that much harder when he takes them down. Part send-up and part love letter to early 90s action films, Bainbridge will take you back to the golden days of Canon, PM Entertainment, and AIP. You can get it in paperback or on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited from Amazon. Follow the link in the podcast description. My newest novel, Don's House in the Mountains, is available now. It follows Don Veazey, who after 20 years has finally made it as a writer, going from an AP English teacher to richer and more famous than he ever could have imagined. In the process, his wife Lois, feeling alienated and resentful of her husband's success, has filed for divorce, forcing Don to move to a house in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. With time alone to reflect, he's able to see how his new wealth and fame has affected his life in ways he never expected. Maybe the biggest of these is his new house, which is bigger and nicer than anything he's ever had in his entire life, but the longer he lives there, the more he gets the sense that it might have magical powers. But that can't be right. A house can't have magical powers, can it? Pick up Don's House in the Mountains today. You can find it at Amazon in paperback and in Kindle. We are back, and yeah, we are looking at our first Willis movie that we've done in a little bit. We haven't done a Willis in a while, but this is actually going to be our 15th Willis one, if you count like the three Willis ones I did in the solo one, and then the ones that we that was kind of the one that was like the harbinger of what started this.
Yeah,
so
and counting now, yeah. So
yeah,
it's a good idea to start with those. I mean, it's a good idea anyway. There's a lot to choose from.
Right, exactly. Because yeah, to give people an idea of where this started, where Ty and I were doing this kind of this monthly episode, it started where I was switching from TalkShoe to what was then Anchor, now is Spotify podcast, and I wanted to do a solo episode because if anything went wrong, I didn't want to, usually when anybody else is on the show, they've got something else to to plug, or there's other and so I figured if it goes bad, it's only me that's going to be affected, but it ended up working out. But you listened to that episode, Ty, and you're like, hey, I'd be happy to go on and do some Willis with you. And so we started by doing that. It was like 2 Willises per episode. And then we were branching out. And it's like, Malky on the Skids, Madsen, Eric Roberts, Dermot Mulrooney, all kinds of different pairs.
The Pivs. Yeah,
right, the Pivs. Yeah. Johnny Drama, Kevin Dillon.
Oh, love me some Orlando Fryer from Hot Seat.
Right, exactly.
And of course, Connor Connerly from A Day to Die.
Right, exactly. Which is kind of what got us started on doing the Kevin Dillon. Was we were doing 2 Willises, we were doing A Day to Die, and I think that was Day to Die and American Siege. Those were the 2 that we did, and it was like, what if we did 2 Kevin Dillons, because he's got some of these movies, and so
we saw how goofy he was in A Day to Die.
Right, exactly.
In Wire Room, that's perfect.
Yeah,
and what we call it, we know Johnny Drama. So
right.
And I think that's one of our funniest episodes. I think it's like he has that befuddled face.
Right, exactly. Yes, yeah.
I know we kind of go backtracking a little bit on these. I just love seeing his befuddled face. It's like, what? Getting yelled at by Willis in Wire Room, and
right, exactly.
Whatever happened in Hot Seat.
Right. Well, and that's one of the things we found as we've been doing these is that it's very seldom the Willis that brings the movie home. It's really about getting a performance from somebody adjacent to Willis, which actually is kind of a good dovetail with Fortress. Yeah. So this one, again, it's the 15th of these. We were looking to do this one for a little bit, and finally Amazon Prime got it. So
and if we bought them, but then like under here that Prime, like okay,
right. Yeah, exactly. And so I'll give a synopsis. Now, it's interesting. It's probably hard for me to give a synopsis without giving away what the plot twist is, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So it's directed by James Cullen Brezak. Speaking of which, who did Surviving the Game?
Or
with
survived the game, and did he
Survive the Game, right? Survive the Game, yeah, with Chad Michael Murray, and then he also did Hot Seat with
Yeah.
yeah. So we've seen James Cullen Bryant, and the other one, of course, people that you would recognize him for is Beyond the Law, the last Seagal movie that's been
I
made.
know. What happened? I guess he just retired, huh? Seagal? Because he
Yeah,
retired.
something's up there because that could end up being James Cullen Brezak's like a trivia attached to him. Who directed the last Seagal movie if he ends up not making another one? Yeah, so, and also you were talking about Pursuit. It's actually co-written by Emil Hirsch.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
did you get to watch that, or did you not catch it on
I
Tubi?
missed it, so I'm gonna keep an eye out
Oh,
for because I think I can at least if worst comes to worst I can always rent it, so it's available
oh,
on
I think it's
on
still
all.
it's still Tubi, but I mean, it might still be chilling on Tubi. Let me see.
I looked in it wasn't listed at least
Oh,
on.
it's gone now. It was there. It
Yeah,
was okay. It did go away, but we don't get repeated on it.
yeah, they usually come back, so yeah, so no worries there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this we get Jesse Metcalf in this, which I jokingly called him Jesse Decaf because he's not really bringing a lot to the table.
I
Um,
love that.
Which also
Yeah.
explains why when you look at the cover, he's not on the cover. It's Chad Michael Murray and Bruce Willis. Um,
That's
but
true.
Jesse Metcalf, he's this guy he's like a crypto bro who is trying to tell us that he's not the usual crypto bro, but he's a crypto bro.
Total
And
crypto bro.
yeah. And so he's tracked down his father, who's living in this like what he thinks is just a retirement community, but it has really heavy duty security. And the idea is he wants to get his dad to invest in his cryptocurrency, so or co-sign on a loan so he can keep the currency afloat. And he goes into this high tech, like heavy duty thing, only to find out that they're under siege by this group of mercenaries who they seem pretty like one note, your normal
Yeah.
mercenaries. Next thing you know, but they have a boss that they're working under. We don't know who this boss is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing you know, Chad Michael Murray shows up in a suit vest with a
Yes.
tie and pants, shirt underneath. So he's not going full Malibu. He does have a shirt underneath. He
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
white button-up shirt, so he's not full Malibu.
Not full
But
Malibu. Yeah.
yeah, so they laid siege to it. Helping them out is Natalie Byrne. That Natalie
Natalie
Byrne's
Burns is back.
working in the Natalie Byrne is in the control room, and
Yeah.
then Shannon Doherty's also there working with them.
Right. She must be friends with James Cullen Brezak, right? Because I like that he throws her a job. It's like because I like Shannon Doherty.
Yeah,
So, like Barbara T. Dobbs is her name.
right, exactly. And yeah, and she's worked with him. Right, she was worked with him on Hot
Hudson.
Seat. Yeah,
Yeah, she was hanging around Hudson. She was like the commander and talking to Mel Gibson.
yeah,
Look at that
yeah,
lineup.
yeah,
Mel
yeah.
Gibson and Shannon Tweed the same. Oh, Shannon Doherty. I knew I was going to screw that up. Shannon Doherty. I was preparing myself to screw that up. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah, if they were ever in a movie together, that would be the worst, right? You'd have trouble keeping that together.
yeah, with Shannon and Shannon, and also Shannon Wary. It's called the Shannons.
Right, right.
It's like Heathers. Also Shannon Doherty. It's like
Right, right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, yes, she was in that one as well.
Shannon playing her. Jane Dean. I played Jane Dean. It's like
Right, right.
hell, it's a cool movie. Especially if you watched it recently. I watched it in the past couple of years. Like an
Yeah,
action movie. It's
yeah.
like
I want to
you
say it's
never
like almost actually it may have been 10 years ago now. It's been a little while since I last saw it, but I have seen it somewhat recently.
remember they made a Heather's show. Remember
Yes,
this?
that's
I
right.
hear it was heavily, censored and heavily,
Yeah.
just cut to shreds because of all these like school shootings at the time.
Hmm.
It's bad timing for the show.
That's right. That's right. That's right. There was a lot of things that they had to take out because of the school
Oh
shootings.
yeah, they
That's
smushed these
right.
episodes together. It's a mess. It's a real mess. So
Yeah.
they were caught it because it was never on TV. It was, and it
Right.
goes off. It was, it goes off. And it's like, and that's not really was that interested because Christian Slater, no program except for
Yeah.
Spiderwick Chronicles. Don't ever watch Spiderwick Chronicles, everyone. It's it's the worst show on streaming.
And
It's like
you're right, 'cause that's got Slater in it, right? He's
that's later. He's like an evil troll guy, and he's like I think I showed you the picture. Right? He wears like a kind of a gold suit towards the end.
right,
Like
right.
the show is just horribly written. I mean, it's like Slater. I mean, usually Slater can carry anything, but wow, he fell under the weight of this one. Like It's like he really did. It was like he was like carrying. Picture him like carrying like a massive anvil. And he was carrying it out. Oh, he dropped on his head. He's done. It's
Well,
like
and the thing is, it's a Roku channel original, which I didn't
yes,
realize.
we had Disney Plus, and then Disney said this sucks. And wow, Roku, I'll take it.
Yeah, Roku channel seems to be doing that because it's like Major League Baseball had this like Sunday morning game that Peacock was airing, and Peacock's like, we don't really want this anymore. We're done with it. And Roku's like, we'll do it. We'll take
Yeah,
it.
we'll take it. We'll take it. Because Roku's probably fighting with Tubi, right?
Right. Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I mean, like it seems like they're Tubi's winning.
Yeah.
Because I did watch Calamity Jane, a Tubi original Western.
Oh,
It has
I've seen that.
Ramel from Arrow, right? He wasn't the Arrow.
Oh yes, yeah, he was. Yeah.
And Emily Brett Rickards, also from Arrow, and she plays Calamity Jane. It was good.
Oh, who was Emily Rickards on Arrow? She was right. She was the well, I want to say nerdy one, but right, she was the one who who did all the computer stuff.
Yeah, so now she plays Calamity Jane, and she's like a tough, one of these tough cowgirls.
Right.
It was good, actually. It was legitimately good. It was like production value was good, writing was fine. You cared, it's an action. She uses a Gatling gun. At the end, like, okay, I love when people use Gatling guns. Those like,
yeah,
they kind of spin it around to a Gatling gun, but it's like we spin it. You use your hand to spin it and start shooting everything. Is that a Gatling gun or is that something else?
Yeah, no, that's the Gatling gun. Because what's weird about that is like you've got Young Guns that had really great use of a Gatling gun.
Yeah,
and you've got Django, the original Franco Nero film, where he's towing a Gatling gun in a coffin. And you
that's
think
right.
between those two movies, everybody would understand the Gatling gun is fantastic. But you're right; it doesn't get as much usage as you'd think. Maybe is it a hard effect to pull off or something?
Maybe because it's like also in the movie Bad Girls with Drew Barrymore and Madeline Stowe and Dermot Mulroney. I think Madeline Stowe uses that kind of gun at the end. It's like, oh, cool. I like because you have to like work at it. It's like,
right.
It's work. What is the Old West? The Old West didn't have cell phones or how the West was. I must have ADD today or ADHD or whatever. But I'm jumping around because that's how my brain works. How the West was fun. That was a Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen movie, right?
Right.
I don't think they use a Gatling gun in that. It's like that would be amazing. It's like, but it doesn't shoot bullets. It shoots like sprinkles or something. It's like, I hope they did that. It's like,
yeah.
Well, they didn't solve the crime by dinner time. That was a different thing. But it's like,
right.
That's pretty fast. Well, if you have to start at 9, and dinner time's what 5? You don't have that much time to solve this crime. It's like just do early bird. And it's like, I think I've seen those, but when I was a kid, but I don't remember them now.
Yeah.
You like see those around or at like your video store. It's like
I think so. That's a good point. I think so. Yeah. Where it's like I kind of remember like you said, like they were I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
like these Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen like kind of like tapes that you just kind of you don't watch them because you're dudes, but we're watching like Gremlins or something, but you see them.
Yes.
You walk past it like, oh right, Mary Kate Olsen Mysteries or whatever. And you just walk past it.
Right. Right.
It's like I know I've done that, but hopefully other people have done too. Fortress. We gotta go back to Fortress.
well, Fortress. So Fortress, I think it plays out like pretty much every Bruce Willis movie until Chad Michael Murray shows up as the baddie and just starts chewing scenery all over the place.
Oh,
and it's
loved it.
Yeah,
it boosted the movie completely.
Yeah,
he was great.
I didn't know he had it in him. I didn't know he had this performance in him.
It was close to pivot level.
Yes,
it's like it was a one step below pivot, but that's still amazing. He was hamming it up. He got the evil vest. He got the evil suit. Yeah. It's like it's great. He was great. Worth watching just for him. 100%.
Yeah. It was that good, and one of the things I think it frustrated me was how that surviving the game, how one note he was knowing
Yeah.
that he had this performance in him. Now, I guess Fortress. Now, I guess the thing you could say is that I don't know. Based on how they're listed on IMDb, I guess Fortress came out after Survive the Game, so maybe he didn't know that Chad Michael Murray could do this, and he's like, "Here, let's see you try this," and he's like, "Yeah, I got this."
He got this. He was like a Cassie Van Dien kind of level, kind of baddie.
Yeah,
It was like Cassie Van Dien meets Piven, but you got your Chad Michael Murray spin on it because you had the evil suit or the evil
yes,
vest.
right,
That evil vest
exactly.
really carried it because it was like, that's a good evil vest. It's like,
It's like they pulled him out of like a some kind of like banquet or something, and they were like, "Hey, we need you to, sorry, boss, we can't take care of this on our own." And like, hey, if you need something done, you got to do it yourself. Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
that's
just
perfect. I
leave
always
this
love
this
that line
charity
too.
event I'm supposed to be at, and I'll come and take care of business.
That's great. It's like,
Yeah,
um, let me say I have in my notes here. Okay, so I gotta say, and Bruce Willis, I thought did a pretty good job in this movie. Also,
yeah,
he was in it a lot, which I was surprised.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he's sitting down a lot. You kind of feel bad. He definitely looks like he's not doing well, but he's in it a lot. I mean,
Yes,
like he's just sitting there like on his rocking chair. It's just, oh, no. And heavy ADR for Bruce too. But
yes.
but he's wearing like that kind of plaid shirt, kind of like George Lucas or like Al Borland or whatever his name is, Richard Karn
Right,
shirt.
right.
It's like
Yes,
Al Borland. I know his full name on Home Improvement. It's pretty, that I
well,
can remember. It's like,
yes. Well, and now because he's I don't. Do you ever see him doing those uh do you like those like
yes,
supplemental home insurance commercials?
I should like look. Just say, look, it's me, Richard
Right.
Karn.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Richard Karn.
Oh, yeah, you have to say that. Yeah, okay, Richard Karn. I remember you. Yes,
Right, exactly.
let's tell the truth. Yeah, I remember you from Home Improvements.
Yeah. I mean, imagine like how much he got out of
He's so
that
lucky. So
that
lucky.
role. Yeah. It's just amazing. Like nobody else on Home Improvement did. I mean, even Tim Allen had to go and make another TV show or I guess Tim Allen did because he did,
Well,
but
yeah,
he wasn't doing that character. Like he was
that's true. He
doing,
doesn't play Tim Taylor in other roles. He plays like
right.
Last Man Standing Man or whatever it was.
Right, right, exactly, right. Or so what Santa Claus, yeah, that stuff.
Santa Claus or Jungle to Jungle. Santa Claus. I only saw the first one because that's when I was a kid, and I never. The second one came out so later. I was like, I was watching cool stuff. It's
Hmm.
like they came like almost 10 years later, right? The second Santa Claus.
I think so. It
And
was
then they made another one. If again, Martin Short, like he's like Mr. Freeze or something. I never watched. Martin Short drives me nuts.
right.
It's like I can't. A very little goes a long way with me with him. But
Yeah.
except for SVU, he gets a pass for SVU,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
he was great on that. Which same as on the last podcast is like we know you're the bad guy, okay? And SVU, I know your weird deep voice, so it's like Martin. You've seen the episode, right? It's like with
Oh.
SVU.
Oh yes, with Martin Short. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That definitely seen
like we
that.
know
Yeah.
he's the bad guy because he does that weird deep voice sometimes in other shows and movies. And it's
Yes.
like we know it's you. Also, you're
Yeah.
Martin Short. Your name.
Yeah.
I, but that's a good episode. Though. I rewatched it about a few months ago. It's a quality SVU episode. Maloney and Martin Short are really good.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that great one of SVU? Oh, the one of Kyle MacLachlan.
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh, so good. And then the one with I think it's Lou Diamond Phillips. Fantastic.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Oh, it's
And I'm trying
good.
to think. So with the one that had Neil Patrick Harris, was that
Oh,
Criminal
that's
Intent?
Criminal Intent.
That's
Oh,
Criminal Intent.
that's
That's
like
right.
the best episode. That is a great episode of Criminal Intent.
Yeah.
It's on season 4, or season 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's a great one.
oh, that was his best performance.
Yes.
Neil
Yeah.
Patrick. I can't stand him now, but it's like except for Doogie. It's like,
Right. Yeah. You gotta love
but
Doogie.
because he falls into that Harold Kumar trap now. Who
Yes.
plays like smarmy guy. You know, it's like, look, I'm smarmy. It's like, it's like we could play something else.
Right. Right. Because he did it on what is it
I met your mother.
How I Met Your Mother. That's the yeah,
That's like
right.
his
Because he
whole shtick.
yeah, it's
That's
just like I'm just gonna always yeah, yeah.
like Ryan Reynolds. He's been doing that for a long time, so you're used to it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I gotta say, I'm looking forward to Deadpool. And
Oh
Wolverine.
yeah.
Are you gonna get that popcorn bucket? I hear a lot about that wacky popcorn bucket.
Oh, are they gonna do a popcorn bucket for?
Oh, you haven't seen this yet? Okay.
Oh, I got to look at this up because
Oh, it's very. Let's just say it's very Deadpool-esque. Very kind of risque.
Okay.
I won't give it away. Let's just say it's pretty risque.
Okay. Let's see
But yeah,
here.
I was looking up this popcorn bucket. So like that's like the hot thing of 2024, right? Popcorn
Oh, I
bucket.
see this. Oh my God, this looks amazing.
Yeah, I know. It has a tongue on it. It's hilarious.
That
But
oh man. Oh yeah. There's another one, I guess. Well, I guess he did one from a previous one. I guess it was like it was like it was coming out of his ass, the
oh,
popcorn.
really, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Classic Deadpool. Classic
Yeah.
Ryan.
Oh yeah. I've definitely got to get I'm gonna have to splurge for that for sure then. Yeah.
Because the question is about those popcorn buckets. Is that when do you have to wait for the movie comes out and it's officially like on sale at the movie theater for popcorn, or can you get it early? That's the question. It's
I
like,
think you have to wait. I think you it's got to be
but,
in the well,
but
maybe like just before it comes out. I don't know. But I
because
think you could get away because I remember so I missed out on the Fast and Furious one because I was going to get that
you
one, the
got your
Fast
Toretto
X
twist,
one.
of course.
Yeah, I got my
The
Toretto
one that
twist
made out of
exactly, which was
Vin
good.
Diesel's
Yeah,
bald head or something. It's like his head opens up, it's popcorn.
that would have been no.
Is that what
Well,
it is?
yeah, that would have been awesome. No, it was just like some kind of like black like bucket. It wasn't
Oh,
anything
okay.
as cool as these Deadpool ones. I'll tell you that.
Because at our movie theater in North Haven, I can buy tickets now for Deadpool. It's out
Right?
in a
Yes, the
month.
tickets are on sale now. Yeah,
It's on
I
sale now. So,
wonder.
oh yeah, this the movie will be out in 1 month, like we said in the last podcast.
Right. So when this podcast drops, when this
Yeah,
episode airs,
yeah.
actually the movie will be out in like 2 weeks. So you only have two
Oh,
weeks to
okay, 2 weeks.
wait. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't wait to see it in 2 weeks. Get that popcorn bucket.
right, exactly.
But yeah, you can buy tickets now 2 weeks ahead of time for Deadpool and Wolverine. Uh, now I don't North Haven Theater, so should I get the tickets now? I mean, like, I don't know. Would you ever buy to that far away, or somewhat far away in advance?
I don't, so I remember with the Star Wars The Phantom Menace. I
Mhm.
remember my friends got them far in advance because I remember I was at college at UMaine and I was
Mhm.
coming back home and the movie was airing and my buddy was like, "You didn't get a ticket yet?" And I was like, "No, why?" He's like, "Oh, we got these way in advance." So like luckily he was able to get one for me or somebody dropped out
Oh,
and I was able to go. But so that's the only one I could think of where somebody bought the tickets well in advance like that was Star Wars. I think he bought them like a month in advance for that episode.
that's amazing. I mean, like, I'm working on trying to get people to go. I think I have someone, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
I'll
so
probably do it solo. I'll probably be doing it
yeah.
solo, but hey, I'm good with that. I'll get in there.
Well,
Do like a Saturday morning matinee. That's or not a morning. I said it'd be like a midday matinee.
see, I think I gotta look at my local theater times, but I think our theater opens like at 10 a.m.
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
that's pretty early, which I like. Because I maybe I said this in the pod or before, or maybe I haven't. Remember that movie, No Escape? Owen Wilson. It's like
Yes, yes. Yeah.
wow. Here we go. Haven't had in a while. Uh, you remember that one? You ever see it? By the way?
No, I never saw that one. I
Oh,
know what you're
oh
talking
wow! I
about
gotta
though.
make a
Yeah.
list for you.
I know.
Um,
I know.
yeah. So what happened was it was like a 10:30 show. I was like, oh, okay, I have time to do this. Um, and at our theater, you can buy alcohol. You can buy like Mike's
Oh
Hard
yes, you
Lemonade
can at
here.
the AMC one,
Yeah,
the one, yeah, in
it's
Philly
cinema.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, oh, you know what? I'll be cool. I'll get some popcorn. I'll get a Mike's Hard Lemonade. And so I said, okay, can I get one can I get the hard lemonade, please? Mike's Hard Lemonade. He's like, well, you could. It's like, then he thought I was a drunk. And it's like, oh, great. It's like, okay, I had to say, I'm not drunk. I just want a Mike's Hard Lemonade now. Well, you could. It's like fine. I'll just get soda. It's like, I mean, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm too lazy to buy beer because I can just buy yogurt. So
Oh,
it's just
was
like,
he was doing it like that. He wasn't correcting your grammar, being like, "Well, you can, but
no, you can get a microwave, but
but
why?
right,
It's
right.
like it was like fine. I won't have it that early in the morning. I think it was early. That's why he was
Yeah.
trying to. Like you think like it's go to there's a place we have called the Playwright, it's an Irish restaurant bar. And I
Oh
do
yeah.
sometimes you see like the barflies there. It's like, oh no. It's like, hey, did you know that one of the barflies in The Simpsons, the character, he died?
No.
Like whoever the guy he has like a comb over guy, see in the background. I guess
Yeah.
because they're out of episodes on this, they're out of ideas. That guy died.
Oh, they killed him off.
Yeah, for some
Oh, they
reason.
killed the character, not the actual. The actor didn't die.
Well, no, the actor's alive. Whoever had a voice,
Oh,
but
okay.
that character on the show, whoever his name was, like Lou or something, he's dead on the show. I was like, why? He's just a background character.
Right. And they were like, no, we're killing him off.
It's like, like sometimes these random people, instead of just killing some random guy off on the Simpsons because they're out of ideas.
Yeah.
When Barney became sober, like I've stopped watching The Simpsons for 25 years though,
Yeah.
maybe 15 years. I watched the movie, and then I was like, this isn't funny. Goodbye.
Well, that's the thing. I think like I'm in the same boat. Like a lot of people have stopped watching the show. It like the show's been on longer since they've stopped watching it than most shows have ever been on.
That's true. It's on 1989, unless you want to count Tracy Ullman.
Right.
Let's say 1989. So it's been on a long time.
Right. It's been around for 25 years. And so,
yeah.
And so you think about it like, 15 years since you've last been watching it. That's longer than most shows have been on the air
And look at SVU, that's been on for over 25 years.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Wait. Like Simpsons is 35 years.
And then SVU is 20, it's his 25th season or something.
Yeah.
A pretty good program. Simpsons fell off ages ago, but SVU is still pretty good. I mean, like, it depends on the episode, obviously, how much ice you get. Remember the one that was supposed to be about Trump? They never showed that still.
Right, they didn't air it. Yeah.
Never aired the one with Gary Cole. Great casting as like an evil Trump kind of character.
Yeah.
They have that clip. They ever showed? I think I might have sent that to you. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Gary Cole in his most powerful performance.
No, it's a shame.
Says, I am powerful. I'm untouchable. SVU. It's like Gary Cole. He's always good.
Yeah.
We saw fake Gary Cole in that movie, right? It was Detective Knight, Frigga.
Oh, right. Who was doing the fake Gary Cole? Was Mesner doing the fake Gary Cole? That's right. He was doing the fake Gary Cole. Yeah. We've seen him do fake Gary Cole, fake John Hamm. He does all kinds of fakes in these movies that we've been watching.
I love that's so funny. And I just watched John Hamm. Oh, John Hamm. No, not Hamm. Fake John Hamm.
Right.
Johnny Buster. And Final Kill. I did watch that, by the way.
Oh, yes.
I'm not sure if you watched it yet. It's on Amazon Prime, so
not yet, but I'll be making that one happen. That's Well, to give everybody a sense, that's going to be one we'll be talking about in the next month. Yeah, Final Kill with Dr. Drew Pinsky.
So his acting is pretty good actually. For Dr. Drew Pinsky. Right. So Fortress. So let me go to my notes. Okay, so because Shannon Doherty, she played Barbara T. Dobbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, I remember this guy maybe like 10 years ago. Remember T. Boone Pickens?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like Pickens Plan? Like, oh, gotta get that Pickens Plan.
Yeah.
It's like, and I thought that sounded like Pickens to me, T. Boone Pickens. So Barbara T. Dobbs, T. Boone Pickens.
Yeah, you got a little T. Boone Pickens.
T. Boone Pickens, yeah. So what was this Pickens Plan? It's about like taxes or like.
Right. He's like a rich guy. He's like some oil billionaire who like gives a lot of money to, I think, to Oklahoma State University. And it's, just one of these characters.
Of course, his name is T. Boone. He had to. That's why he was popular, because he's like a Smokey and the Bandit kind of guy or something.
Right, exactly. Right.
T. Boone Pickens. It's like. What was I say about the other notes here? So. Oh, I also thought that Chad Michael Murray, he looked like Carson Daly.
Yeah, he had a bit of a Daly look to him, for sure.
Carson Daly, I wonder how he's doing. I think he's on like one of these like hosty shows.
Oh yeah, he does the Voice, I think, right?
Oh, he's the host of The Voice.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, like I know, of course, he was on TRL, of course.
Yes.
Always Backstreet Boys and sang, or Eminem or Mariah Carey.
Right.
time. I don't think, and then, but remember the old TRL where he was just in a basement.
Yeah.
You remember those days?
I do. Yeah, because it was like this thing where they had the Times Square studio, and
Yes.
suddenly they were just like, oh, let's have the windows open. Because I think it's the transformation of Times Square to being like this whole like touristy area. It was like, oh well, we can
Yes.
actually have things there as opposed to like seeing like ladies of the night walking by and things like that you have in Times Square.
And you put a certain quarter into a slot, and a woman pops up.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Suddenly, instead of that, it was bubblegum shrimp and
TRL.
those
Yeah.
kinds of things. Yeah.
Like, I think there might be a documentary or something about TRL. I mean, let's go back to the basement. It's just like, it's like you're just like behind you're like next to a TV. Like, here's a video. It's like, I wonder if they have that footage.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please. Go, please.
Oh, there's a show called Dark Side of the 2000s.
Oh, I that.
TRL Last Request. Is that the one you're talking about?
Oh, but there's a more positive aspect. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was a more darker version.
TRL Last Request.
Nice, good one.
TV show TRL becomes the daily destination for celebrities and fans to mix. The show creates an unpredictable media circus where beefs, battles, and breakdowns. I mean, thinking of beefs, battles, and breakdowns, the one I always remember that's the best is that you had I don't think Joey McIntyre was even. I don't know if he was he might have been hosting, or if it might have been not him, but Carson Daly hosting. But no, Carson Daly was hosting it, and Mark Wahlberg was on with Eminem, and this one of the production assistants, when she saw Mark Wahlberg, she ran up and was like, "Oh, Marky Mark, I love you," or whatever. And I guess he was not happy to be called Marky Mark. Like he'd put that, he didn't like that. Right, and Eminem saw that, and when they got out on stage together, Eminem's like, "Well, aren't we just one big old fun bunch?"
Yeah.
Like, you just like see like Mark Wahlberg seething and like Eminem just eating it up. Yeah,
I gotta see that footage. I mean, like,
yeah,
Marky Mark, he's kind of fallen off.
yeah.
And I mean, I haven't seen his last few because I don't really. Well, first, not making the things I want him to make, obviously. But it's like, but I mean, this Family Plan movie. I mean, I don't know if I care. It's like, have you seen this on Apple TV? I don't have. I know someone who has Apple TV, so sometimes I watch stuff on it. But have you heard of this?
What is that?
It's a Mark Wahlberg movie called Family Plan.
Oh, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Boston, but he's a family man.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It looks like a kind of a movie on a screen to me. But like, there's some other movie called Arthur the King. He's like racing a dog or something.
Right.
I mean, I like a good dog movie, but I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna go to the theater. I think it's like what's the movie called Dog? It has Channing Tatum.
Oh yes, yeah.
I think it's just called Dog.
Yeah. Yeah, and it made in the theater because it was like during that period after the pandemic when they were like putting more stuff in the theater, and they thought, oh well, Dog's going to do well in the theater, and it didn't.
Well, because that's your title,
right?
Cat. Is that the sequel?
Right.
You gotta have some. That's at least a very unoriginal title, Dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, that's not great. Right. I hear it's actually pretty good, but I don't. Channing Tatum, he's kind of fallen off too. Like, remember he was like 15 movies in like a year.
Oh yeah.
It was like The Vow. No, Vow. It's called. Yeah, The Vow, and he was in Haywire and White House Down, and like
Magic Mike,
all like the span of about a year.
Yeah.
And then he kind of fell off, and he's not making the movies I want him to make, which are stupid, straight-to-video action movies where he walks away from an explosion. So it's like, now Mark Wahlberg already made that, Shooter, but it's like,
yeah,
that's a good movie.
Now I should mention about that TRL show because is that it's actually a documentary series called The Dark Side of the 2000s, and TRL is one episode of it. Yeah,
I thought it was a lighter version, but I guess that was it then.
It's got Mark McGrath, who of course I always just called him Sugar Ray, but he's he's like
Hootie, he's like the Hootie. Right. He's Sugar Ray.
They have him as the narrator. He's narrating the episodes, which is just
Well, he was
Yeah.
popular. It was Every Morning. That was a song that was popular at
Oh,
that time,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
What's
'cause
the other one that was
um,
popular?
because Every Morning was the second album that they titled the second album 1459 because of,
Uh,
their 15 minutes of fame was almost up. Um,
good.
yeah, what was the other one? Fly, right? Was that the other one? It's
That
called, was
was
it
it.
just called
Thank you. It
Fly?
was, yeah. And they're like
Yeah,
jumping in a pool or something.
right, exactly. Yeah.
But
He there's an old episode of uh Headbangers Ball, Ricky Rackman, where you got all these metal guys hanging out, and a young Mark McGrath is like hanging out with them, like jumping, like
yes.
trying. Have you seen that?
Well, I know that because he used to be more metal and punk. Because if you
Right,
play the
right.
old game Road Rash 3D,
Oh,
they have music and it was like
yes.
hard rockin' Sugar Ray, like hard rockin'.
Hmm.
Just like Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth used to be more hard rockin'. And then
Right.
it became then they sold out, to the highest Shrek. But it's just like, and well, so that happens to people, I guess. But it was the '90s, 2000s. You gotta sell out, you know.
Yeah. Well, because he didn't have like the long hair that the hair metal people had, but he was hanging out with them. Like he was like
Right.
he wanted to be a part of that world. And I guess it was like Ricky Rackman's house that they were all hanging out at. Because I guess he
That's awesome.
he was like some like rich like I don't know if it was like
Oh,
something.
he's a rich kid guy. I don't really
No,
know Mark
oh no,
much.
no, like Ricky Rackman, he was I think he had like made motorcycles from, like he was really rich. Like I think he was making motorcycles for like all the band guys, and then they decided to just have him host the Headbangers Ball show. And
Yeah, it's not ability. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, he was just having a party at his house, and
that's
Mark
awesome.
McGrath is there jumping in the pool and stuff like that, and they're all just like, "Who's this kid?" Because he would have been like a teenager, I think, then, or maybe like early 20s.
Yeah, that's amazing. I wonder if Headbangers Ball episodes are on YouTube or something.
I
I
think
gotta
they
look.
might be.
That's amazing because but you got these gosh darn music rights stuff. That was blocks things. Fine, but
Right.
I'll look it up. Oh, Ricky Ratman. I think he's on an episode of Rock of Love, or he's like
Right.
hosted,
Remember,
or
he was the I think he was an episode of Rock of Love, but then he was also one of the judges, I think, on the Sharon Osbourne one.
yes, he was. Great memory because I remember that. He's like, hey, look, Ricky Ratman. It's like that's so fun. To me, he always looked like Judd Nelson.
Yes.
Uh, he had like a Judd Nelson quality to him. Uh,
Yes.
what's that Judd Nelson? Well, what's really what happens when you go on YouTube and you fall into the hole? We should go back to Fortress in a second, but
Yeah.
uh, I have any tangents today, everyone. Um, well, I lost my train. Okay, yeah. So when you look up, YouTube kill counts, like I sometimes do,
Oh yes,
the
those are always
Boondock
good.
Saints 2 popped up. It's like, oh, that's right, Boondock Saints 2, All Saints Day, and like,
Right.
and I remember I saw it once. And Boondock Saints is very, I guess people, that's a love it or hate it kind of movie. I don't
Yeah.
know if you hate it or like it, or I don't think there's no liking it really. You have to
Yes.
love it or hate it. But the thing
Right.
is, I'm right in the middle. So it's like because there's some good parts to it, Willem Dafoe,
Hmm.
and there's some bad parts to it where it's just stupid. So it's like,
Yes.
it's like so then they made a sequel and it has Judd Nelson as the villain, kind of. And he's all like bugged out. And I remember that. You ever seen the sequel? It's like,
So I remember it coming out, and I was like, oh, I don't know that I need to see this movie, but
yeah, too. But I watched it for free, so it's like, all right.
it looks like they're gonna make a third one. They've got a third one in
Yeah,
development.
yeah, but they muscled out Troy Duffy, the goofball director guy. Uh,
Oh, okay. It's
they must have paid him a ton of money. They're like, go away. Yeah, goof. It's like,
right.
because there's, I mean, you've probably heard of seeing the movie called Overnight, where they show that Troy Duffy's kind of a jerk ass.
No, I haven't seen that. No.
Oh my goodness! I mean, like now I just feel bad for him because
Yeah.
because when I looked up Command Performance, in the first part of the podcast,
Mhm.
there's an interview of Dolph Lundgren on this show called No Good TV. Do you remember this? I'm not sure what channel that was on. Do you
Oh,
remember
I don't know.
No Good TV? Well, there's a host, and her name is Carrie Keegan,
Oh,
and
yes. I
she's
know
kind
her.
of like, yeah, and she interviews Dolph Lundgren about Command Performance, He's like drunk and like, it's a great bit. But then I looked up some other videos, like, oh yeah, Boondock Saints 2. It's like, yeah, Boondock Saints 2. I can't do Carrie Keegan impression, but like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, look here, Boondock Saints 2, yeah. And he got turned up. He's like, this is a good movie. And then I just felt bad. It's just like, because it's not a good movie.
Right. Yeah, I have to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, we have to see Boondock Saints 2. Okay, so you're not really missing much. It's like if you've seen Boondock Saints 1, if you remember that movie, you know, Willem Dafoe, he kind of like narrates what goes on in these crime scenes after the Boondock Saints kill people, right?
Oh yes, yeah.
So in the sequel, they replaced Willem Dafoe with Julie Benz with a southern accent. Right. And it's like, hey y'all, this is what the Boondock Saints did, y'all. You know, it's like that's my Reese Witherspoon, but I mean, it's like, hey y'all, gotta support AI, y'all. You know, it's like Legally Blonde 3, y'all. But I wish he said that. But it's like, well, I'm jumping all around. Reese Witherspoon. What was I talking about Boondock Saints 2? Oh yeah, because he's kill count. You see Judd Nelson. Judd Nelson looks like Ricky Ratman. All right, so back to Fortress. Back to Fortress. So I really enjoyed the movie. It was one of his better movies, I thought.
Yeah, so interesting because we're talking about because our friend Todd Gaines, who used to do he was sort of on a mission
He's on the Bruce. Right?
Yeah, right, exactly. He gave this one a C+. I think this is one of the later ones that he did. I don't think he did any in 2022. I'm not sure. Yeah. So he did do he did do Fortress. He gave it a C, or he gave it a C+. But he did say he had high hopes for James Cullen Brezak. I think he liked his work in this. But I think for us, we're kind of more in like the B range, I think. For
I give it a B plus because it ramped up to B plus because of Chad Michael Murray.
Yeah.
If he was like kind of Jesse Decaf, like you said, it was brilliant. I love that. Yeah. The movie would have fell into the C plus, C minus territory and fall into the Bruce hole.
Yeah.
And like, oh right, here's Bruce being Bruce, like a Detective Night or something. Yeah. So, but this one's better than I expected. I'm really hoping the sequel has some more wacky Chad Michael Murray stuff in it.
I agree because they bring him back. He's the same character. And he's back in the new one, or he's in the and I guess apparently they shot them back to back. So they were just like, we're just banging out these two. But I guess they did them back to back. But James Cullen Brezak didn't do the second one.
He only did the. Oh, I didn't check the director on that one. Okay,
it's somebody named Josh Sternfeld. So he does that one. So yeah, it's so. But Chad Michael Murray is back in that same role. So it's interesting because some of the. Right, exactly. But yeah, I don't know if he wears the vest. That's a good question. I guess we'll just know.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I guess we'll just find out.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that very soon. I'm looking forward to it actually.
Yeah.
I wonder what's gonna happen. I'm actually wondering what's gonna happen in the second part of Fortress.
Right. Like Chad Michael Murray, it's an interesting thing because there's always this idea of like there's like this young guy who does like the heavy lifting with Willis. So it's like, this one's supposed to be Jesse Metcalf. It's other ones has been Jesse Metcalf. Sometimes it's Chad Michael Murray. Sometimes it's I'm trying to think of some of the names. We've had Kevin Dillon.
Right. Was there another Jesse? Well, there's Jesse Metcalf and Jesse Bradford.
Jesse Bradford. Yeah, Bradford? I don't think he did a Willis.
Okay, I keep thinking he was in Hard to Kill, but I think that was I think that's Jesse Decaf.
Yeah, Jesse Decaf was in. Yeah, he was in that one with our friend Texas Battle.
Great name.
Exactly. Yeah, and so Patrick Muldoon, Mark Paul Gosselaar. It's like any number of young guys do the heavy lifting for Bruce Willis.
Muldoon, he got beat up by Richard Norton.
Which was one of my favorite scenes in direct. I remember watching that with my dad, and what was his name? Tommy, right? His character name was Tommy, and he's like, "Come on, Tommy, and he's like beating him up, and my dad was just like, "Yeah, Tommy, what's going on, Tommy?" And I was just like, "Oh, this is so great,"
That's a great memory. That must be. You must think about that and like laugh, and like must have been like a really funny time.
Oh yeah, because it was on Spike TV, and it was one of those things where just had it on TV.
TV. That's also interesting. stick?
Yeah, so Spike TV had it
Okay.
on, and it was like, just I was just watching. My dad comes in the room, so I was in the living room. I think I might have been home from college or something. I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was like I was watching. My dad just kind of sat down and was watching it with me, and he's like, "Yeah, come on, Tommy." Norton's got his Australian accent, like, "Come on, Tommy, come on." It's like, you
Did
show
he
me
do
what you
the
got.
accent too? Like you just
No,
trying to
no,
do
no.
it
My
with your
dad
dad?
wasn't. No, no. He was just doing, "Come on,
Okay.
Tommy." Like, yeah, come
Oh,
on, Tommy. What's your problem, Tommy? It's like,
I just love that. I love that story. It's so great. I
yeah,
The other thing I also want to mention in Fortress is there was like someone who kind of looked like Kate Beckinsale. I called her fake Beckinsale a little bit, but then her name is Kate in the movie. So
yes,
it's like
yeah,
so,
Kelly Grayson, the actress.
so
Yeah,
so she looked like Kate Beckinsale from, and then I thought maybe not, but I already wrote it down. But then her name was Kate, and then um, but I don't really have much negatives to say about this one.
Yeah,
I
so the only thing I would say is that before Chad Michael Murray shows up,
okay, yeah,
it's pretty paint by numbers Willis
yes, I will agree with that.
movie.
Yes, I didn't write down that. Oh, you're right. I said you
Yeah,
have care, but not bad. That's what I wrote down. Then it got better.
yeah.
Okay.
But we grade these on a curve, and I think looking at the ones we've done, these Willis movies that we've done so far with this, I mean, this has got to be up there. It's got to be up there with we liked American Siege a lot. I think
Yeah.
it's right up there with that one.
Mm.
Trying to think of what other ones. We didn't mind Assassin, but I mean, I think White Elephant is a different thing altogether because
What I
it's
thought was
Jesse V.
interesting,
Johnson.
that's true. Corrective measures. I'm trying to think.
That's right.
Well, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah,
So I
I
can
mean, this
remember
was
when
definitely
Rooker was
better
like
than
on fake
that.
CNN. That was funny.
Right, exactly. The fix, yeah,
That was,
and I mean the Rooker was good
yeah.
in that one in corrective measures, but yeah, this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to go back and look at like our notes and stuff, but I would say this one might slot in right behind American Siege, or maybe even potentially even
Maybe
better than
better.
American Siege. Yeah,
It's, because it had that kind of energy towards right to the end. It really pushed it over to like a good movie. I mean, like I
yeah,
actually would recommend it for sure. And like, and about John Michael Murray, One Tree Hilling It Up. It's like
exactly.
I'm assuming he doesn't act like that in One Tree Hill. A movie, a show I've never watched.
That would be yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the other thing I would say about this is that it almost has what I call the Destro effect, where, when I used to watch G.I. Joe growing up as a kid, I always thought Destro was the coolest. He was a bad guy, but I
right.
rooted for him. And I will say, like, I did kind of have some Destro effect with Chad Michael Murray, where I was like, no, no, I want to see him get all his money back as a baddie and beat everybody. Like I wanted to
Yes.
see him win. I didn't want to see Jesse Metcalf beat him or.
Yeah.
So there is that one problem is that Chad Michael Murray is so good in this that I don't know about you, but I rooted for him.
I love John Michael Murray in this movie. I like. Oh
Yeah.
wait, this guy's awesome. Why is he
Yeah.
the villain? Jesse Metcalf's a tech
Right.
pro. What was, what was he doing again?
What-
Oh, Bitcoin. What was he doing?
Oh, the Bitcoin. Oh, the crypto bro.
Crypto.
Yes.
Thank you, crypto.
Yes, the
I don't
crypto.
understand crypto. I don't want to live in
No.
a cashless society, so I don't support crypto because
Right.
first I don't get it. I have trouble enough at banks. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's fine. Just stick to money.
Right. Exactly.
You don't own the future.
Essentially,
You're not the Jetsons, okay?
it
It's
it so there are some people that say crypto is a Ponzi scheme, and so I don't know enough about it either. So I'm not saying 'cause,
I
might get some crypto
been
bros that
living
listen
money
who
all my life.
yeah.
Crypto to I don't understand. Like, so how many cryptos you get that's like $1? It's like I don't really
Well, because
understand.
the way it works is that it's based on how many people invest in it. So it's almost like a Ponzi scheme in that sense that like
Oh yeah,
in
for
order
sure.
for you to make money off your crypto, other people have to buy into the crypto and the more people that.
Oh,
But what ended up happening was like you had like that whole Sam Bankman
I don't like
Freeman
that
guy.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate.
my understanding was what he did is he created this cryptocurrency, this crypto exchange or whatever, and he was just pulling all the money out of this coin that and the coin's only worth as much as like there's money in there, and he just was spending it all and just using it all for himself. And so
Almost that's awful. I mean, the
yeah,
guy is a freaking schlub and he deserves to be in jail. And it's like,
yeah.
and
I
like
mean,
I thought. Remember, like the fawning article. It's like he's the crypto king.
oh
He just
yeah,
had.
yeah. Oh, he plays video games while people are interviewing him. How great is that? It's like that's not great. He's being annoying, right? It's
Oh, that's actually
like,
really distracting and very unprofessional.
right, exactly, right. That's not
And
that
he
cool.
just looks like kind of a slob. And
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, I don't. why would you trust this slovenly slob goof? It's like to give, and you give him money, but then
Right.
he obviously going to go to jail. And then look at see, it looks like crypto sounds like a timeshare, but
Yes.
worse. And it's like, remember that episode of South Park when they're like, do you ever see this one where they
Yes,
go on
the ski
vacation
one,
with the time?
yes.
And that's my picture what that is crypto. I just
Right.
picture here goes the timeshare, but it's
That's the
like
best. That is the best, like, when the parents are locked in and then the kids get, they get, like, conned or they get forced into doing the skiing thing, and, like, the kids are like, "What are you t this stay away from me. I don't wanna race you on the hill," or, "Come on, dude,
yeah,
you gotta race," just like,
yeah,
Why? Why do I have to I wanna race you?"
yeah. Great episode, really funny.
Yeah.
Great like hot dog the movie kind of parody kind of thing. Like
Yes.
I like the movie. That's a great movie. I mean, like I don't know if you've seen it recently, but
It's been a while for hot dog. I've seen
yeah.
Ski School recently.
Oh, nice. Who's
Yeah.
that? Was that Tim? No, it was not Tim Matheson.
No,
Dean. Cam-
Marshak, Dean Cameron, yeah,
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 cool name by the way, Dean Cameron. That sounds
yeah.
cool.
Oh, he's one of the best. I mean, between that one, he did Men at Work and the Sheen and Estevez movie, and then he did
Oh yeah, Cameron's underrated. I
yeah,
think more about Dean Cameron. He
yeah.
had that kind of like it quality. He just didn't really get the power through some good stuff like that. I think he could have been an action star.
Oh yeah, Dean. Can
Like
you imagine Dean Cameron? Yeah, he would have, especially in that PM period. I mean,
yeah, he could
like
have
the
something.
wisecracking with like 5 o'clock shadow and especially if they dressed him up in like kind of surfer gear, but like he was
Yeah.
like this offbeat surfer guy who was a cop in LA. I mean, and then just let Spiro Rosados just blow him, like blow up a bunch of cars and stuff. How great that
Oh,
would
and
have
it'd be
been.
awesome. He'd be shooting while cars are blowing in the background. It would hold like
Yeah,
I would go. I could just go Surfer Cop, or how about like
right. Yes.
Deadly Surf or something like that.
Right. Hang 10, right, or
Oh,
something. Yeah.
yeah,
Deadly
you could
no,
say that like
Deadly Surf. I think Deadly Surf is the title. That's the yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
like he could who would be the bad guy? It'd be like maybe like a Brian James or like a Jeff Fahey or something. And
yeah,
it's like he
Fahey.
does
I mean,
and
yeah,
he shoots the guy 10 times. It's like,
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
it's
I mean,
like
depending on how much they put into it, it could be as low a level as like Jeff Conaway.
that's brilliantly
Yeah,
said. I love that. You can get that is perfect. I can't.
right.
I there's no way I can top that. Jeff Conaway is perfect as the villain.
Yes.
Because Jeff Conaway was almost like the low rent Willem Dafoe. So it's just like
Yes. It was like would you see him in was it a Time to Die? Is that the one
yeah,
he does with and he's just like completely pawing all over her all over Tracy Lords and like it's like you're just like man Tracy Lords is like 21, 22, and Jeff Conaway's like well I'm getting it's almost like you could like see him off set being like getting into character and it's like no just
no.
yeah,
Yeah, I love Deadly Surf.
yeah. Yeah, that would be Dean Cameron. We didn't, and I think one of the things I think maybe with kind of dovetailing back here with Chad Michael Murray, you know, as I think obviously he's younger, he's not that old. I
That's
mean,
true. I'm not sure how old he is, but he must
he's
be in his
born in 81, so he's like a couple years younger than
81.
me. So I mean, he's in his early 40s now. I mean,
This is his time.
this is his time. We need
Yeah.
more of this kind of thing. I mean, of course, he's only done like he's doing a TV show now called Sullivan's Crossings. He's done a couple like it looks like he's done a couple like Lifetime like romantic comedy kind of
He's
things.
missing out. He needs to go back to the action
We
fortress.
yeah, we got to get him and I think Fortress 3 is in pre-production. Okay, so okay. So we must
Wait,
get him
that shows what happens to Fortress too.
right exactly. Right. We know.
Oh, no,
Well,
spoiler.
yeah, at least at the very least, they're going to try to bring him back. There's also another movie called Bad Men Must Bleed that he's in with Bruce
Okay.
Dern. Okay, this isn't it's a western.
All
It's
right.
in it's in post production. It's got
Oh,
Bruce Dern and Chad Michael Murray.
yes.
I mean this thing has got to be good. Like we just uh,
Oh,
now
right. That's what I'm
yeah.
talking about. Oh, Bruce Dirty's back.
Yeah, this is so we don't know when it's coming out. It's just in post production right now. I don't recognize another name in the cast as I'm going through it. Like I don't know anybody else who's in this, which I don't know if I need to know anybody else, but yeah, so I don't know when this thing's coming out. We'll have to keep an eye out for this thing
I
because
will. I can't wait to keep. I'm making
yeah,
on it right
Bad
away.
Men Must Bleed is what it's called right now. Now, of course, we know between now and when
Decent
that title could change, but
So, I miss Dern. I used to.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't had Dern on here in a little bit. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
kind of gone away from him a bit. I mean, we've gone away from Willis as well. The cops are coming. I guess. Yeah, they're busting us for not having Dern on the podcast. But
Okay.
I think
I'm mad at you, or what was he?
right,
Oh,
exactly.
he had an oxygen tank and the weapon. That was great. It's like
Yeah, I mean,
that was
'cause
the
we
best scene
kind
of
of
all time. Jeff
yeah, we
Fahey and Bruce Dern and at the end of the weapon.
what's amazing about that one. So like kind of like how this one like it doesn't really get. I mean, like you said, the Willis isn't bad, but it
No, no,
really doesn't kick off until Chad Michael Murray show up. The
yeah,
weapon, it's like you don't get anything until the last 5 minutes when you get Bruce Dern and Jeff Fahey together in one scene. They
yeah.
kind of make the whole movie.
I couldn't believe that. I wish they maybe did something in the beginning too, but
Yeah,
I mean, the weapon is a very as we if you listen back to that episode, it's a very weird movie. I mean, like it's such an odd movie. I mean, like yeah,
yeah.
Tony. I'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, well, because what's
Yeah,
interesting, speaking of like, Shepherd code, the weapon
yeah,
is like a better quality with more names version of
true.
Shepherd code.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Yeah,
It's like, I actually forgot about the shipwreck code. Oh yeah, we watched that. But it's like,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
I have all my notes for Fortress. Hopefully, we talk to some about these movies instead of other movies today. But it's like,
Well, yeah, a lot of a lot of tangents as always, but I think for people, because again, this one's on Prime.
oh,
I
that's true.
think yeah, if you've got Prime, you can watch this one. I think I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. With all of these ones about
I was for sure. I mean, like that was
yeah,
amazingly. This is pretty good. I'm like, hey, I'm hooked in. It's pretty good.
yeah.
I was worried about it a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the Chad Michael Murray that we get,
Yeah,
and I think, like I think it definitely kind of gives me hope that these kinds of movies might get better. That like with Chad Michael Murray's performance, you've talked with the other Chad Michael, uh,
Chemical Collins.
Chad Michael Collins, who does the sniper films, and he's kind of had like kind of a tongue-in-cheek approach into at least
Here,
in how he talks about the movies.
here goes
Um,
another one. I'm in another Star movie.
Right, right. And so he seems to be having fun with it too. I think if we get more of these guys giving these kind of performances here, we
Yes.
can maybe kind of pull the DTV kind of doldrums that we're in. Because again, we're grading this movie on a curve. I mean, this movie doesn't compare to like the heyday of the 80s and 90s DTV.
No.
We're saying this is kind of just fun for what it is. But I
Oh, it
think
is.
there's a little hope that if we get these kind of performances, maybe DTV can kind of get back to what it once was.
Fall back a little bit because look at of course the system with Jeremy
Yes,
Piven,
that's
which
right.
is I mean that was amazing, and then you got this channel also amazing. It's like all you really have to do is put some good energy into it. You have a story that you care about
Yeah,
for the most part, and you got something.
yeah,
You can forget about decaf and all that stuff. You know
right,
he's a window dressing, a cipher.
right,
Like
right,
that. Like
exactly.
they're going to say that cipher. It's like what I just never have a chance to ever say it. Like he's a cipher. I used to read that. There's some movie. I think it was like Urban Legend.
Oh,
I wanted
yes.
to read like these. And I read a critic who's like, it's like these characters are ciphers. It's like, what am I talking about? Because when you're a kid, you're dumb. You know what a cipher is. It's like you're 12 years old. Movie comes out. It's like cipher. Or is that like something? I don't know. Also, there was a review of Dark City. Remember that movie? Russell. Wait, Rufus
Oh,
Sewell.
right. Yes, yeah.
You ever seen that one? It's weird. It's a good movie. A little, Kiefer
I think
Sutherland's odd in it.
that's a good. I don't know.
You
If
know
I
what?
have, it's
It's
a long
odd
time. Like I probably could use another rewatch for sure.
because in the New York, I used to read the New York Post, and it said, "Watch this movie with recommendations." It's like, oh, cool. You're recommending it. It's like, no, recommendation meaning for parents. Yeah, it's too much violence. After I
Right,
reread that, like,
right.
oh. I always remember that. Like, wait, and then I got to see it in the theaters. Oh yeah, people recommending it. It's like, oh no, it's bad for you. Most of George nudity and violence. It's like if I still got to see it in the theater because there was that thing that I didn't know what that meant at the time.
Yeah.
It's like so. It's just like, oh, the faculty I got to see in the theater. That's a great movie. Have you rewatched that recently? It's awesome.
That was what's her name from Dawson's Creek, right?
Oh, well, there's the faculty.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of another one that
Disturbing
had her.
Behavior.
Yes, that's right.
Good movie, by the way, too. James Marsden. Um,
Oh, The Faculty. That's right. The Faculty had Jordana Brewster from
Susanna
Fast and
Brewster
Furious
and
movies.
and
That's right.
and as we watched it recently, but wow, there's now I forgot her name. Not Piper Laurie. Who also was in it? And Robert Patrick.
Yeah, and Josh Hartnett. You had to have Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett at his best, and
Yes.
also Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Wait, what? If I can't think of her name from Cheers or whatever it was.
Oh,
Great.
right. BB Newworth.
Beater takes a freaking beating. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! Have you watched it recently or remember what happened to BB Newworth in this movie?
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, like, she's not that evil in it. It's like,
right, Lilith. What are you doing to Lilith? Poor Lilith. Yeah.
oh my goodness. She gets like stabbed in the hand by Robert Patrick in the beginning, like brutally stabbed in the hand of a pencil. Like, that's horrible. Then she gets like beat, and she gets shot in the head by Josh Hartnett.
Right.
Because she's not really an alien. I know it's a spoiler, but it's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And like, he wasn't that terrible of a character.
Right.
A brutal death. I mean, like, but it's a great movie. I always remember, like, wow, when we watched it about 2 years ago, wow, I never forgot how much BB Newirth gets a beating. It was like, and of course, people who are on the faculty, it's guaranteed to jack you up. Yeah, the quote that what was the name of that? Something. Josh Hartnett's name. It was like, like a cool name, but it's like,
oh yeah, what was because that early Hartnett, I think it was this one, and then what was the movie 40 Days and 40 Nights, I think, where he was trying to be celibate, right?
Yeah, that was whack. That's a weird movie.
Zeke is his character name.
Yeah,
Zeke Tyler. Yeah.
I think of Stokely. That was Clea Duvall's character.
Oh yes, yeah. Clea Duvall. It's funny. So seeing her picture now, because I was like wondering what happened to her. I realized like I don't like the picture of how she looks today. I don't quite recognize. It's not like she's had a lot of work or anything.
Clea Duvall. I mean, I thought, okay, she gets a pass for the faculty.
Right.
I mean, like everyone gets a pass for the faculty. And look at Ryan Phillippe. He gets a pass for Cruel Intentions and Way of the Gun for about 25 years.
Right.
It's like, no, but then because you got the Ryan Phillippe factor, you should probably get going because I've read that before. But yeah, you got your Kellen Lutz. Kellen Lutz. Do Justice. I have an update about that. If you want to do that soon for the pod.
Oh yeah, that is. Well, I mean, yeah, we haven't done. Have we done any Lutz? I mean, I guess it's got Fahey as well. So
yeah, he's hanging around.
Yeah, Lutz. So Lutz.
It was on Prime Video and Tubi. Do Justice.
Yeah, I think it still is on Tubi, or some. Yeah, it's on all of them. It looks like it's one of those ones that they just put everywhere.
And Kellen Lutz was in another movie that I think we were interested in watching.
Right, he does that one with Cam Gigenet that's not out yet, which I think that's the one we really have to see, right? Because that's like the two of them together. It's just that's going to be too much to handle. Desert Dawn, right? So I don't know if it's got a release date yet.
Still post production, it says.
Yeah, I mean,
written by Chad Law. It has Chad Michael Collins.
Texas Battle, our buddy Texas Cat battles in it. Yeah,
but all of our fears are in this movie. All of our namestays,
right, exactly.
From other movies from this podcast are in this movie. Texas Battle, Mike Ferguson.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have Chad Michael Collins yet, but
no, we haven't done Chad Michael Collins yet. Yeah, so I mean, we haven't done Kellen Lutz either. I don't think was he.
No, because he to like kind of get the right movies. Like I want to see Desert Dawn. I want to see I got him mixed up again. Cam Gigenet and Kellen Lutz.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? That's what's going to be interesting about having the two of them in the movie together is that it's like, I'm trying to think of like because I mean, Jesse Metcalf and Jesse Bradford would be a similar one, though. Also, Jesse Bradford and I can't think of his name. The guy who dated Jennifer Aniston. I think he wrote one of the Iron Man movies, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he wrote Iron Man 2.
Look it up, really.
What is that actor's name? I cannot believe that I'm drawing a blank on that one because he's kind of a bigger deal. But he
wrote.
I think he wrote Iron Man 2.
Justin Theroux.
That's it. Justin Theroux. That's the name. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny. I just rewatched Iron Man 1. Did I mention that to you? I rewatched it last week.
No,
It was
no,
still,
no. That you.
no, it was pretty good. I have to say, it was pretty. I think it may be Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
You know, next time, baby. You know what he says? But he should have said next time, Maine. If he said that, that would be great.
Yes. Yeah. Good old
Next time,
Terrence
Maine.
Howard. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny when we got to see him in the system,
Yeah.
because it's interesting because like you look at these roles, like I mean obviously Iron Man was huge and he
Yeah.
wanted more money to be in the next two, and they were like, well, we'll just do Don Cheadle instead, we don't need to pay,
Yeah.
um, but it's not like he missed out so bad because he got to do Empire, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
So he still had the parts. It's interesting. I don't know what got him into the system where he was doing, like the,
Yeah, I
the
don't get that.
DTV stuff, but
I think because who's in the news? Yeah, he was in the news the last couple of weeks. Have you seen this about Terrence Howard?
oh no, I haven't.
Like
No.
Gary Leto, like you seen this? See this idea? What's the deal, Terrence Howard? But see that? Well, it was Kevin Eubanks. See that's Kevin? See that's Kevin Eubanks? But which was he was talking about like weird math. It's like 1 + 1 equals
Oh,
3.
was he on like the
He
Joe
was-
Rogan show or something?
Yeah, it's like what?
Yeah.
Are you okay? You okay, buddy? You okay, Maine? it's like, hey, Maine, you okay?
Yeah, I feel like too, like if you're on the Joe Rogan show, like I feel like uh
mm,
it's like if Rogan kind of almost creates this environment where like you can just say all kinds of weird, crazy stuff. Um
that's a good.
and then it's like you get on there and it's like when you know uh go even more like yeah, I guess like so I guess he was like he was coming up with his own ideas about physics and stuff.
That's amazing. I mean, like
Yeah.
I listen to like, well, his voice is kind of fun to listen to because it's kind of
Yeah.
whiny and high pitched. But there's something about Terrence Howard's voice that makes me laugh. So I just listen to what he says.
Yeah.
It's because I know he's trying to have a tougher voice, but he just doesn't have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so it's so funny. And then that's a good point about Joe Rogan. He's just you can say whatever you want, huh? And it's just like, well, you
well,
should. I mean, say
within
whatever you
like a
want.
certain range, but like I think he kind of like for the kind of the weird conspiracy kind of stuff, he's
You like
like,
that, right, Joe
yeah,
Rogan?
I think so. Like within a certain level, like I mean, like it's like he likes Alex Jones, but I don't think he returns his calls anymore. But so it's funny because this
I'm gonna do
podcast
your
that
impression.
yeah, right. Yeah. Joe Rogan, I haven't heard from him, but he's trying to lay low because the deep state's after him. So the globalists are trying to get him. So that's why he's not really talking to me as much anymore. But he still loves me. He's a good friend of mine. But he on 9/11 when Alex Jones was broadcasting on 9/11, Joe Rogan called and
Oh,
he was like a guest. He did a call in and he interviewed Joe Rogan about it. And he was like coming up with all these like the conspiracies about Hollywood. And Joe Rogan's like, you understand nobody has these like I know these people in Hollywood. They aren't doing this stuff. All they care about is making money. They don't care about like all these conspiracy things that you've invented for them.
good point. That's what's so. So why was he just like? Why is Terrence Howard like talking about his wacky stuff? It's like, I mean, I was looking at his filmography, uh, and it's like, ooh. I mean,
Yeah.
he's in a movie with Kevin Sorbo now,
Yeah.
and it's like a church movie or something.
Oh, Terrence
It's like
Howard is?
it's Terrence Howard, Kev Sorbo, and Cuba Gooding Jr. The Firing Line. It's like a church kind of Christian movie.
Right.
It's like I think there's a trailer out now, but I'm not sure it's out or not. And like wow, that's kind of a fall. You got from like I think it's fallen into
Yeah.
the 90s where he's just like where he was Terrence to Sean Howard or whoever it was. And he was in that movie called Double Tap, Heather Locklear
Oh,
and
yes.
Stephen Ray. And I remember being obsessed with that movie because I always wanted to see because it looked cool. I could never find it at the video store. That's right around the time of Boondock Saints. It's like, whoa, the Boondock Saints is so cool when that's a 13-year-old movie, or a 13-year-old favorite movie in the 90s,
Yeah.
maybe 13 at about 25 and he fell off. But it's like I already made fun of this movie already, but maybe I'll find the article about Boondock Saints 2 from the Onion AV Club
Oh, yeah.
because I guess he did a commentary with Sean Patrick Flannery and all those people, and the person who was reviewing the commentary was just brutal, just
Right.
brutal. It was like funny brutal,
Yeah.
and it's just like because it kind of shows how like Joe Duffy is like doesn't he likes the Boondock fans, Boondock Saints fans, but I think he knows that they're dumb,
Oh,
and it's
jeez.
like oh dear,
Oh,
and it's
man.
amazing. I'm gonna find it. I think I have it in my history from a few days ago, so I'll find it and I'll send
Yeah.
it. It's like, I mean, if you like that movie, great.
Yeah.
But I feel like that movie has a shelf life of a certain time frame. You know, you can watch it in 1999, and when you're 13 to 17 or 13 to 21, then you're done. Kind of like Kevin
Right.
Smith. You know, Kevin Smith movies, I'm done with those unless he makes
Yeah.
them like. But I see Clerks 3 came out. Wait, Clerks 3? That's what I thought. Like, do you see Clerks 3 yet? It's like,
Yeah. I no, I haven't.
you haven't
When
seen
did that?
Clerks 3?
I've seen 2, but I haven't done 3 yet.
3 came out like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
I'm going to spoil it.
Let's see. Yeah, because let me see if it's on one of the streamers. Yeah, there's like a lot of Kevin Smith I have to catch up on. Oh, it's on Stars. I don't get Stars. It's the one I don't.
I don't have stuff.
Yeah.
I hear the show with Courtney Cox called Shining Veil. I hear it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't have Stars. Maybe it's on DVD. But yeah, Clerks 3, like, I don't, should I spoil it? I mean, like, I saw like a spoiler for Clerks 3. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Which is that Dante, he dies.
Oh, right. Yes, he has a heart attack.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like, that's outrageous. It's a comedy. It's like,
Yeah.
why are you dying? It's like, okay, that's it. I'm done. You know, I saw Red State. Do you ever? That's a decent Kevin Smith movie.
I did. That was a pretty good one. Yeah, with John Goodman. Which apparently, like they, they could barely pay him for that movie, and he just was like, hey, I'll come in and do it. You know, give you what you know. And then Michael Parks, of course, was in it as well. That was a really good one.
You know what's great? That's great segue. But but we should probably let people go. Which is, I did rewatch The Hitman. Speaking of Michael Parks, today on Laser because I.
Oh yeah.
Besides Striking Distance, a modern day classic, also Hitman, modern day classic. That movie you cannot make today. My goodness. I mean, like Michael Parks is like saying things I can't say on this podcast.
Right. Yes.
And it's just like, especially it's that little boy, that little African American kid. It's like, I didn't catch that the first time. Oh, what? I can't say. Watch 48 Hours and see what they call Eddie Murphy. Then you'll know what happens. But it's like, so, are you gonna watch Axel F, that Beverly Hills Cop movie? It's on Netflix. Or
that's a good question. I mean, I probably will. I probably, at some point I probably get to it. But yeah, I don't know. That's
I mean, like, but The Hitman was very good, by the way. It was a fun movie, but there's like these really like oddly racist, like a good portion of the running time.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like odd.
Yeah, it's amazing how some of those work like that. Yeah.
I mean, I know Michael Parks is always evil. He's so great because he's such a jerk ass. The jerk north. You have to wait an hour for him to like come back, but what he does in the movie, what he says, is amazing. Because remember that you've seen From Dusk Till Dawn, right?
Oh yes, yeah.
Like he talks about whatever life is to that store clerk. It's like it's amazing, and with that improvised, it's like maybe it's the way he speaks. It's like that kind of weird, kind of drawl, a slow way of drawl speaking.
Yes,
Does that make sense? It's like, because remember at the end of The Hitman, you're fighting, and then like he puts him like in some sort of like headlock or chokehold or something.
Right.
Chuck Norris does. He's like, that was a good move. It's like,
right.
It's like, good move. I can't do it, but good move, man. It's like, what a great. It's a great ending though. But people, I won't spoil that. I'll spoil Clerks 3. I'm not spoiling The Hitman.
Right. Yes. Yeah. No, people should definitely check that one out for sure.
But check out the Fortress, like the Family Guy. Check out Fortress. It's good. Yeah, I definitely recommend that.
Yeah, I think. I think that's of the two. I think we never did our spotlight on a fight.
Oh my goodness! Do you still want to do that?
Yeah, let's quickly bang that out then. As we wrap up here. So Blackbelt.
Fortress great.
Yeah, Fortress was a good one. Shepherd Code not so much. But Blackbelt.
Yes.
The end fight. So we'll kind of pick it up. So Wilson is going to the woman is being held by Matthias Hues, and he's got to go rescue her. She's being held above a dojo. So people have apartments above dojos in movies in the 90s a lot. And so um, Wilson shows up at the dojo. There's a bunch of guys there. We won't get into that because he cleans out this whole crew of
Yeah.
stunt guys, right? Before he even gets to Matthias Hues. And then Matthias Hues, he wants to carry out some ritual before he kills this woman. And part of it is he cuts off his finger, which even though it looks like he's cutting like a cold hot dog when he cuts his finger, it still grosses me out, even if it is just him cutting a cold hot dog that's made to look like a finger. But then he's there and Wilson shows up and Matthias uses something along the lines of like, take her, just take the girl or whatever. If you want her, you can do whatever. And Wilson's like, well, no, I'm not going to fall for that. He just starts punching him and he's like, kind of delivers a few good rights and then like a back fist. And Hues isn't really all that. It doesn't really harm him that much, and he starts kind of getting him back, and then they kind of end up in the dojo area.
Yeah, and this is a quality fight. I mean, like even if he says, in his quotes, like Don Wilson was a good fighter.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I recognize, I don't know if you noticed this as well, because Don the Dragon Wilson is like 6'1", and Hues like Dolph is 6'5", and so he's not that much shorter than Hues. Like most guys when they fight, even Gary Daniels, I looked it up, he's like 5'10". So compared to someone like a Hues, he's going to look a little bit less. Or some of the other names, I think like Ian Jacklin, those guys, I think they were a little bit in the 5'10", 5'9" range. I don't know if anybody's 5'9", but 5'10", 5.
Right, and that's right. He made him look shorter, which is amazing.
Yeah, and in Wilson's case, he's not quite as short, so Hues doesn't look as imposing against him. But like the fight scene that they go through, I mean, it's a lot of like multiple move, where it's like one guy's just punching a few times, the other guy takes a few, punches, kicks, it's which I think is really good to see, like they kind of do these multiple moves there.
I love that. They're taking one shot. That's why it's a really quality fight for like 1989, 1990, like that. It's really well shot, really well choreographed. And it's like, and of course, when Hues hits Don Dragon, he goes, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing, right? Because when Hues gets him, it's like, so like Hues is getting Wilson, he's going, ah. And then when Wilson is getting Hues is just like spitting cherry starburst out of his mouth. It's just like drooling everywhere.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then there's a point where Hues gets Wilson up against the wall, and then Wilson does this thing. So in my middle school, when I was growing up, the middle school had like one of those bars that you could do like pull-ups on or something. And
cool.
This like assistant teacher guy, we like when we would be doing like drama or whatever, in the gym, he would be doing like pull-ups and he would do these moves where he would like hold himself up and like swing his legs around and stuff like that. So we started doing them, like we started like mimicking what he was doing and like doing the same stuff. And of course, the first time I did it, I had the worst like stiffness in my abs the next day because I was just doing, but Wilson pulls one of those moves where he's like hanging by the bar and he gets Hues in like a scissor hold. He starts swinging back and forth to like to throw him aside there. So they're kind of using the space, and then the woman breaks free. So she's like tied to a bed, and she's able to get one of her hands free. And this is important, right? Because we're going to need her for the end of this fight. She makes it down the stairs, and Hues in his desperation because he's starting to lose the fight, right? He's recognizing which probably wasn't a good idea to cut a finger off before the fight.
Yeah, need your fists. You need both hands.
Exactly.
Lose the finger there.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not in the best shape as it is, and so Wilson's taking him down, and he grabs a samurai sword. It's like a last ditch, like, oh, I'm going to try to get him with this samurai sword. Of course, Wilson knocks that away. He gets kind of a last couple jabs in, and then Wilson kicks him. He kicks him a few times while the woman is just kind of standing there holding the sword out. So she's got like the handle against her stomach, and the sword is just there. And after a few kicks, he kicks him back and he kind of falls into the sword. And, and that's how he dies, which, I mean, she, of course, needed to hold that sword pretty steady to be able to, like,
I know. Wow. She got lucky on that. Quickly, he fell backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Movie, John Dewey, or her name was. I just
Yes.
rewatched it myself. We rewatched the whole movie about 2 weeks ago, and I found that German Blu-ray, which because you can get on. I don't know if you have an all-region player.
No, I don't
Uh,
know.
and it has English audio. It's the uncut version of Black Belt. So there's like 5 more punches each, like punch by John Sweet in the movie. Like everyone gets 5 more punches. It's more
Yeah.
violent.
Well,
More
and
violent
I noticed
punching.
that, and I forgot that Alan Blumenfeld is in Black Belt, who
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Martin
he was
Baum.
Martin Baum, right? So
Yeah,
Martin Baum was there.
right. We have a connection to Righteous Kill with this film.
An early Martin Baum.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Yes.
forgot to mention that on the pod. It's like
Yeah.
great, uh, Martin Baum.
Yes. Yeah, so you had to have that. But, like you said, because, one of the things I think I found, with the podcast, we have a large audience in Germany. And so, my German is, so guten
I can
Morgen,
say Guten.
guten
It sounds like
Abend.
I say
Yeah.
Gutenberg.
Yeah. No, but yeah. Willkommen nach the podcast. Yeah, my German is. I minored in German in college, but I'm having trouble with it right now. But no, I think there are a lot of really big action fans in Germany, and what's great is that the market there for physical media is much greater than it is in the U.S. or in the U.K. And so, like, to your point with that Black Belt, that version there, it's almost like they make them. They're getting better about it here, with companies like Vinegar Syndrome and Severin and whatnot. But yeah, definitely in Germany, that the action fandom there is strong, and they love this stuff, and they love it on physical media.
That's great because it's worth purchasing an all-region player just to get this uncut version. It's about
Yeah,
a couple minutes longer, but like I said, everything is more violent. So it's like everyone gets blood that spurts out more, or dribbles out of mouths. It's
yeah, and
people.
this one is that violent. This is a more violent Wilson movie.
Yeah, great point. One of the more violent ones because everyone
Yeah,
just gets snapped over everything. It's like
yeah, snapped, stabbed, lots of stabbings, lots
shooting
of
people, brutal neck snaps. It's like there's a brutal arm snap in it.
yes, yeah. It's
But it's
yeah, and then of
great.
course,
One of the best movies, I'd say.
and one of the most famous lines in the history of Don the Dragon Wilson movies.
Go for it.
Yeah, the broken nose is for the girl, the vasectomy's free.
Yeah. And it's brilliantly delivered by Mr. Don. It's just like
Yeah, exactly.
we're so lucky to have Don and Dragon Wilson. I mean,
We
like,
really are, and I think that's one of the problems with Shepherd Code is that it
yeah,
reminds us, but also I think that one thing that's nice about it, is, at least nowadays, is that, like you said, either if you've got the region-free DVD, you can get these movies in different qualities. But even the amount of Don the Dragon Wilson on streaming, for fans, because we have a lot of younger fans who listen to the podcast,
oh,
and
good.
yeah, and I think late 80s to late 90s Don the Dragon Wilson, it's some of the best DTV stuff that you're gonna
Yeah,
see.
yeah, you're gonna, and we're lucky that let's say, Operation Cobra. Not, I
Yeah,
know I called it Colonel last time. Operation Cobra. That's one of his best ones. I'd say
yeah,
Blood Fits 1 and 2. He has some actually like really good movies you can watch. They're
yeah.
not garbagey. It's like, but I know, yeah, he made some stupid. What's that one that has Roddy Piper? It wasn't great. But
Oh, oh, what is and not in front Terminal Rush.
yeah, Terminal Rush. So
Yeah,
Terminal Rush, not a great movie,
yeah. Die
but
Hard in a Hoover Dam.
gotta love it.
Right, exactly. But yeah, Black Belt is,
Yeah,
I think the thing with Black Belt is it is one that it's not like a bad movie night with like
no,
anybody kind of movie. It's a little bit more brutal, but you'll enjoy it.
that's a popcorn or pizza movie with your buddies,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
a certain time
exactly.
frame,
Yes. Yeah.
just a certain distance. Like if you watch it like 1993 on a tube TV,
Yeah.
oh, what a double feature that would be!
Yes. Yeah.
Like on striking distance, what a night!
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, for
Stone
sure. Oh, those
Cold,
two would be, yeah. Coming back to the Willis, yeah.
yeah,
Striking Distance and Black Belt, that would be a
yeah.
good double feature and a nice like, pepperoni and mushroom pizza with either beer or soda or whatever you're inclined for. Yeah.
Or how about this for a brain cell depleted double feature? You have Stone Cold and Roadhouse,
Oh
and like you have
yeah.
to smash all your beer cans on your head while you watch
Right,
it.
exactly.
It's like
Well,
it's a good thing.
Well,
Would that be
Roadhouse and Striking Distance is a good one because you'd have like the Rowdy Harrington double
right?
feature.
Double rowdy. Let's get
Yeah,
rowdy tonight.
right. Exactly. You'd get rowdy. Yes.
Just might end it on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah. I guess at this point, now we've done our spotlight on fight, so I guess it's time to start wrapping up. So, yeah, Ty, anything you wanted to plug?
Hey, we got the classic plugs. We have let's see, ComeuppanceReviews.net, the website, which is also it's on Facebook under the website name. Ty Comeuppance the Twitter X. I don't really use that. Let's tell the truth there. And then Action Rocks is the Instagram handle. I actually posted 2 tapes this time around. I posted The Killing Zone with Malibu,
Yes.
and I posted as a wolf. I should know that by now. As Jeff Fahey's.
Yeah.
And that was okay. I just watched it recently. See, the thing is, all my pictures are on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm very slow at see what there's a long gap between tape posts because I'm slow watching tapes. So Eye of the Wolf is very old picture on my phone. It's about 3 years old. So it's like I just watched it. So it's
because what happens with the VHS is that like nowadays with streaming, you can watch streaming anywhere. Whereas the VHS, you've got to have the VHS player in and watch it kind of, we're used to the convenience of being able to have, things on any device.
I mean, it is helpful. Look at Tubi, for example.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So those are my plugs, by the way. So.
Oh, yes.
Those are all my plugs. So.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah. Podcast.
Yeah. No. Go ahead. Sorry.
We just posted. What did we post? I should know these things.
That was a bag of gems.
Oh, it's Bag of Gems, right? Oh no,
Yeah.
we're gonna do Billy.
Okay.
We did Behringer. We did Talking Tom Behringer, and then we did Grab Bag of Gems.
Yes.
And Richard podcast. Very big success on that one.
Yes, the Richard Pierce episode. Richard Pierce video store memories. It's not just Richard Pierce. His video store memories are top notch. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
He worked in a video store in Vegas, but his stories working with Olivier Gruner on the movie Section 4 Extraction are fantastic.
I can't wait to. I got to listen back to that. I know it's a little. I know. It's a long episode, so
but it's great. I mean, and not only that, but even like kind of just the tangents you guys go on about movies like T-Force and Evan Laurie and some of the. It's a fantastic episode. It's my favorite of the Comeuppance Reviews podcast.
I mean, it just like kind of kept going and like because he kind of like you because you understand these movies.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, I look forward to. It was Grab Bag of Gems 5. Okay. I never finished it. Oops. And then, well, that's not good. Okay, so maybe I didn't finish it. The first one we did for Grab Bag of Gems 5 was Act of Valor. The movie with the real U.S. SEALs.
Oh yes, yeah.
And if you look it up on IMDb, it's hilarious. Act of Valor because it just doesn't say the real name. It's just like Tom. It's like. Let me find it. I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Then I'll let you go.
That's awesome. Act of Valor. Yeah.
Great. It's like you can't make that today. It wasn't that long ago. Let's see. So here we go. So it just says Dave as Chief Dave and Wymie as SO1 Wymie and Mikey as SO1 Mikey. It's like
that's awesome. But it's also got Rosalind Sanchez.
Which is just from what's he in Fast and Furious?
Well, right, and she was in what was it? The boat movie?
Boat movie?
What was the movie called? It was something cruise, couples cruise or something like that.
Oh, Couples Retreat.
No, it was a movie that had what was that movie called? It's funny, like it's not one of her top movies anymore. But it was I think it's in her bio at the top of her IMDb page. Yeah. People probably listening to us like, hey, we know the movie. We know it's Boat Trip. That's what it was called, Boat Trip.
Boat Trip, yes. I never saw that. I hear it's not great.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested. But
no, exactly. No.
I hear gross stuff happens to Roger Moore. That's all I know.
Right, exactly.
That's all I know. And you can look it up on your IMDb Parents Guide page to see what that is. But it's just like, you just have to say, poor Roger Moore.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But
his best movie, Due to a Kill. Right.
Yes. Right, exactly.
He was 85 years old. and he's still playing Bond, and he's like
Yeah.
his like false teeth, and it's just like, but also hey, that's Dolph Lundgren's first role, right? But
Yeah.
he's playing like
View to a
goon
Kill,
of a
right?
gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
And
the
of course,
best
you're coming back to
part.
Christopher Walken, right? Christopher Walken was the
That's
baddie.
right.
Yeah. Speaking
So
of Christopher Walken. Yeah.
it's like I think I saw a clip of it the other day. It's like you're in. I can't do Walken, but it's like you're hurting me.
Right, exactly.
When Walken's like on fire, you gotta love it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like,
oh yeah. Nobody's better than him on fire like that. He just kills it. He's just so.
He has that it calling when he like gets like kind of mad. Like I know he's getting obviously a little bit older now, but he doesn't like do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, but when he did, it was great. It's like,
oh yeah.
he's really efficient.
Yeah.
No,
like,
what is that voice anyway? Like, what kind of voice is that? I mean, like,
right.
That has to be his real voice, right? I mean, I know,
oh yeah, that's him. Yeah.
It's like it's so different than other people's voices.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to sound like Christopher Walken or like, I'm Liam Neeson. I've done Liam Neeson impression. Right. I'm a commuter. You mentioned commuter.
Yeah.
I was a commuter. It's like, remember when I was the commuter?
Yeah. Right.
Seen that, by the way?
No, I haven't seen that one. No, I haven't seen a lot of the Neeson ones.
Well, he's in that Netflix movie called The Ice Road. He's like an ice road trucker.
Oh, right. Yes, I remember seeing something about that one. Yeah.
I mean, that's a movie you go watch in the morning.
Yes.
But now they're making a sequel.
More Neeson. Without Neeson.
No, it had Neeson, but it's not going to be on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I like Ice Road 2, like Road to the Sky or something. And it's post production now. It's like he's driving up like a mountain or something. It's like, here we go.
Yeah.
Now he just sits in a car now. Retribution. Now he sits in trucks and cars. He must have. He doesn't want to get up anymore.
Right. Yeah. He's just kind of doing his thing. Maybe that's a good place for us to leave it. Is that Mr. Neeson not getting up anymore? But yeah. Yeah. But thank you everybody for listening. I think we got we did good with 50%. Right. Having a good Fortress worked, Shepherd Code not so much, and then of course Blackbelt. So yeah, I think we did all right there. But yeah, come back in a month and you'll kind of see what we got after this. We'll see where we go next.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and we'll be back soon. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Director